we should be
Okay.
now live on YouTube. So welcome everyone. My name is Paul Sugarman. This is the Instant Shakespeare Company, and tonight we are doing a reading of the history of Troylus and Cressida. This is the quarto edition, which was labeled as the history, and actually. It's even though the Troylus and Cressida is set really at the beginning of the tragedies, it's actually right between the histories and the tragedies, and it's not listed in the table of contents as either. But my name's Paul Sugarman. I'll be playing Cressida's man, Pandarus's servant, Antenor, and maybe a few other parts. And I turn it over to our playmaster, Jennifer Finger.
Thank you, Paul. I will be playing a number of parts: Aeneas, Helenus, Menelaus, Cassandra, Gyptus, the servant, Myrmidon, and possibly also Nestor and Andromache. So I'll ask everybody to turn your cameras and your microphones on, introduce yourselves when you're named, and then turn your cameras and microphones off. And then when you're in the scene, and only if you're in a scene, turn your cameras and microphones on. One thing to bear in mind with the script we'll be using is that sometimes entrances and exits are not marked. So you have to pay very close attention to find out if you're going to be reading next, because there might not be an enter so-and-so. So thank you. So let's start with Kevin.
Kevin Quinn, I'm reading the prologue of Pandurus and Ajax.
Thank you. How about you, Mark?
Hi, I'm Mark Gehring, and I'm playing Ulysses.
Okay. And Clinton?
I'm Clinton Powell. I'm reading Paris and Patroclus and filling in for Troylus and the boy until Daniel gets here.
Okay. Thank you. Rebecca?
Hi, I'm Rebecca Lee Silverman, and I am playing Cressida and Helen.
Thank you. Ken?
Kenneth Wayne. I'm doing Diomedes. Is that how it's pronounced?
Yes, Diomedes. Okay.
Played him
thank you.
before. I saw Diomedes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Looks like you have a low bandwidth, so hopefully it'll hold up. Derek?
Hey, I'm Derek Tarson. I'm playing Agamemnon and Achilles.
Okay, and Michael?
Michael E. Gardner. I'm playing Hector and Thersites.
Okay, and I think that's everybody at the moment. So let us begin.
Let me get off.
And
The famous history of Troylus and Cressida, excellently expressing the beginning of their loves with the conceited wooing of Pandurus, Prince of Lycia, written by William Shakespeare.
A never writer to an ever reader, news. Eternal reader, you have here a new play, never staled with the stage, never clapper-clawed with the palms of the vulgar, and yet passing full of the palm comical. For it is a birth of your brain that never undertook anything comical vainly, and were but the vain names of comedies changed for the titles of commodities or of plays for pleas, you should see all those grand censors that now style them such vanities flock to them for the main grace of their gravities, especially this author's comedies, that are so framed to the life that they serve for the most common commentaries of all the actions of our lives, showing such a dexterity and power of wit that the most displeased with plays are pleased with his comedies, and all such dull and heavy-witted worldlings as were never capable of the wit of a comedy, coming by report of him to his representations, have found that wit there that they never found in themselves, and have parted better witted than they came, feeling an edge of wit set upon them more than ever they dreamed they had brain to grind it on. So much and such savored salt of wit is in his comedies, that they seem for the height of pleasure to be born in that sea, that broth brought forth Venus. Amongst all there is none more witty than this. And had I time, I would comment upon it, though I know it needs not, for so much as will make you think your testern well bestowed, but for so much worth as even poor I know to be stuffed in it. It deserves such a labor as well as the best comedy in Terence or Plautus. And believe this, that when he is gone and his comedies out of sale, you will scramble for them and set up a new English Inquisition. Take this for a warning, and at the peril of your pleasures, loss, and judgments, refuse not, nor like this the less, for not being sullied with the smoky breath of the multitude, but thank fortune for the scape it hath made amongst you. Since by the grand possessor's wills, I believe you should have prayed for them rather than been prayed. And so I leave all such to be prayed for the state of their wits' health that will not praise it.
Enter Pandarus and Troylus.
Call here, my varlet, I'll unarm again. Why should I war without the walls of Troy, that find such cruel battle here within? Each Trojan that is master of his heart, let him to field. Troylus, alas, hath none.
Will this gear ne'er be mended?
The Greeks are strong and skillful to their strength, fierce to their skill, and to their fierceness valiant. But I am weaker than a woman's tear, tamer than sleep, fonder than ignorance, less valiant than the virgin in the night, and skillless as unpracticed infancy.
Well, I have told you enough of this. For my part, I'll not meddle, nor make no farther. He that will have a cake out of the wheat must tarry the grinding.
Have I not tarried?
Aye, the grinding, but you must tarry the bolting.
Have I not tarried?
Aye, the bolting, but you must tarry the leavening.
Still have I tarried?
Aye, to the leavening, but here's yet in the word here. After the kneading, the making of the cake, the heating the oven, and the baking, nay, you must stay the cooling too, or yea, may chance burn your lips.
Patience herself, what goddess ere she be, doth lesser blench at sufferance than I do. At Priam's royal table do I sit, and where fair Cressida comes into my thoughts, so traitor then she comes when she is thence.
Well, she looked yesternight fairer than ever I saw her look, or any woman else.
I was about to tell thee when my heart, as wedged with a sigh, would rive in twain. Lest Hector or my father should perceive me, I have, as when the sun doth light a scorn, buried this sigh in wrinkle of a smile. But sorrow that is couched in seeming gladness is like that mirth fate turns to sudden sadness.
And her hair were not somewhat darker than Helen's. Well, go to, there were no more comparison between the women. But for my part, she's my kinswoman. I would not, as they term it, praise her, but I would somebody had heard her talk yesterday as I did. I will not dispraise your sister Cassandra's wit, but...
Oh, Pandarus, I tell thee, Pandarus, when I do tell thee there my hopes lie drowned, reply not in how many fathoms deep. They lie undrenched. I tell thee, I am mad. In Cressida's love, thou answer she is fair. Poorest in the open ulcer of my heart, her eyes, her hair, her cheek, her gait, her voice, handless in thy discourse. Oh, that her hand, in whose comparison all whites are ink, writing their own reproach, to whose soft seizure the signet's down is harsh, and the spirit of sense hard as the palm of plowman. This thou tellest me, as true thou tellest me, when I say I love her. But saying thus, instead of oil and balm, thou layest in great gash that love hath given me the knife that made it.
I speak no more than the truth.
Thou dost not speak so much.
Faith, I'll not meddle in it. Let her be as she is. If she be fair, 'tis the better for her. And she be not, she has the mends in her own hands.
Good Pandarus. How now, Pandarus?
I have had my labor for my travail. I'll thought on of her, and I'll thought of you go between and between, but small thanks for my labor.
What, art thou angry, Pandarus? What, with me?
Because she's kin to me, therefore she's not so fair as Helen. And she were kin to me, she would be as fair a Friday as Helen is on Sunday. But what I care not, and she were a blackamoor, 'tis all one to me.
Say she is not fair?
I do not care whether you do or no. She's a fool to stand behind her father. Let her to the Greeks, and so I'll tell her the next time I see her. For my part, I'll meddle nor make no more in the matter.
Pandarus.
Not I.
Sweet Pandarus.
Pray you speak no more to me. I will leave all as I found it, and there's an end.
Peace, you ungracious clamors. Peace, rude sounds. Fools on both sides. Helen must needs be fair. When with your blood you daily paint her thus, I cannot fight upon this argument. It is too starved a subject for my sword. But Pandarus, oh gods, how do you plague me? I cannot come to Cressida but by Pandar. And he's as tetchy to be wooed to woo, as she is stubborn, chaste, against all suit. Tell me, Apollo, for thy daffest love, what Cressida is, what Pandar, and what we. Her bed is India, there she lies, a pearl, between our Ilium, and where she rides, let it be called the wild and wandering flood. Ourself, the merchant, and this sailing Pandar, our doubtful hope, our convoy, and our bark.
Alarum, enter Aeneas.
What happens, Troylus? Wherefore not afield?
Because not there, this woman answer sorts, for womanish it is to be from thence. What news, Aeneas, from the field today?
The Paris is returned home and hurt.
By whom, Aeneas?
Troylus by Menelaus.
Let Paris bleed, 'tis but a scar to scorn. Paris is gored with Menelaus' horn.
Alarum.
Hark, what good sport is out of town today?
Better at home it would I might or may, but to the sport abroad are you bound thither?
And also taste.
Come go we there together.
Exeunt. Enter Cressida and her man.
Who were those went by?
Queen Hecuba and Helen.
And whither go they?
Up to the eastern tower, whose high commands as subject all the vale to see the battle. Hector, whose patience is as a virtue fixed, that today was moved. He chid Andromache and strook his armorer, and like as there were husbandry in war, before the sun rose he was harness light, and to the field goes he, where every flower did as a prophet weep what it foresaw in Hector's wrath.
What was his cause of anger?
The noise goes this: there is among the Greeks a lord of Trojan blood, nephew to Hector. They call him Ajax.
Good. And what of him?
They say he is a very man per se, and stands alone.
So do all men unless they are drunk, sick, or have no legs.
This man, lady, hath robbed many beasts of their particular additions. He's as valiant as a lion, churlish as the bear, slow as the elephant, a man into whom nature hath so crowded humors that his valor is crushed into folly, his folly sauced with discretion. There is no man hath a virtue that he hath not a glimpse of, nor any man an attaint, but he carries some stain of it. He is melancholy without cause, and merry against the hair. He hath joints of everything, but everything so out of joint that he is a gouty Briarus, many hands and no use, or purblind Argus, all eyes but no sight.
But how should this man that makes me smile make Hector angry?
They say he yesterday coped Hector in the battle and struck him down, the disdain and shame whereof hath ever since kept Hector fasting and waking.
Who comes here?
Madam, your uncle Pandarus,
Hector's a gallant man.
as may be in the world, lady. Pandarus?
What's that? What's that?
Good morrow, Uncle Pandarus.
Good morrow, cousin Cressida. What do you talk of? Good morrow, Alexander. How do you, cousin? When were you at Ilum?
This morning, Uncle.
What were you talking of when I came? Was Hector armed and gone ere you came to Ilium? Helen was not up, was she?
Hector was gone, but Helen was not up.
Even so, Hector was stirring early.
That were we talking of, and of his anger.
Was he angry?
So he says here.
True, he was so. I know the cause, too. He'll lay about him today, I can tell them that, and there's Troylus will not come far behind him. Let them take heed of Troylus, I can tell them that, too.
What is he angry to?
Who, Troylus? Troylus is the better man of the two.
Oh, Jupiter, there's no comparison.
What, not between Troylus and Hector? Do you know a man if you see him?
I, if I ever saw him before and knew him.
Well, I say Troylus is Troylus.
Then you say as I say, for I am sure he is not Hector.
No, nor Hector is not Troylus in some degrees.
'Tis just. To each of them he is himself.
Himself, alas, poor Troylus, I would he were.
So he is.
Condition I had gone barefoot to India.
He is not Hector.
Himself, no, he's not himself. Would a were himself. Well, the gods are above. Timeless friend or end. Well, Troilus, well, I would my heart were in her body. No, Hector is not a better man than Troilus.
Excuse me.
He is elder.
Pardon me, pardon me.
The others come, not come into it. You shall tell me another tale when the others come to it. Hector shall not have his will this year.
He shall not need it if he have his own.
Nor his qualities,
No matter.
nor his beauty.
'Twould not become him, his own's better.
You have no judgment, niece. Helen herself swore the other day that Troilus for a brown favor, for so 'tis I must confess, not brown neither.
No, but brown.
Faith, to say truth, brown and not brown.
To say the truth, true and not true.
She praised his complexion above Paris.
Why, Paris hath color enough.
So he has.
Then Troilus should have too much. If she praised him above, his complexion is higher than his, he having color enough, and the other higher is too flaming a praise for a good complexion. I had, as live Helen's golden tongue, had commended Troilus for a copper nose.
I swear to you, I think Helen loves him better than Paris.
Then she's a merry Greek indeed.
Nay, I'm sure she does. She came to him t'other day into the compost window, and you know he has not passed 3 or 4 hairs on his chin.
Indeed, a tapster's arithmetic may soon bring his particulars therein to a total.
Why, he is very young, and yet he will within 3 pound lift as much as his brother Hector.
Is he so young a man and so old a lifter?
But to prove to you that Helen loves him, she came and puts me her white hand to his cloven chin.
Juno, have mercy. How came it cloven?
You know, 'tis dimpled. I think his smiling becomes him better than any man in all Phrygia.
Oh, he smiles valiantly.
Does he not?
Oh, yes. And 'twere a cloud in autumn.
Well, I go to him then. But to prove to you that Helen loves Troilus.
Troilus will stand to the proof if you'll prove it so.
Troilus, why, he esteems her no more than I esteem an addle egg.
If you love an addle egg as well as you love an idle head, you would eat chickens in the shell.
I cannot choose but laugh to think how she tickled his chin. Indeed, she has a marvelous white hand, I must needs confess.
Without the rack.
And she takes upon her to spy a white hair on his chin.
Alas, poor chin, many a wart is richer.
But there was such laughing, Queen Hecuba laughed that her eyes ran o'er.
With millstones.
And Cassandra laughed.
But there was a more temperate fire under the pore of her eyes. Did her eyes run o'er too?
And Hector laughed.
At what was all this laughing?
Marry at the white hair that Helen spied on Troilus' chin.
And had been a green hair, I should have laughed too.
They laughed not so much at the hair as at his pretty answer.
What was his answer?
Cause she's here's but 52 hairs on your chin, and one of them is white.
This is her question.
That's true, make no question of that. 52 hairs, quoth he, and one white. That white hair is my father, and all the rest are his sons. Jupiter, quoth she, which of these hairs is Paris my husband? The fourth one, quoth he, plucked out and give it him. But there was such laughing, and Helen so blushed, and Paris so chaffed, and all the rest so laughed that it passed.
So let it now, for it has been a great while going by.
Well, cousin, I told you a thing yesterday. Think on it.
So I do.
I'll be sworn 'tis true he will weep you, and 'twere a man born in April.
Sound a retreat.
And I'll spring up in his tears, and 'twere a nettle against May.
Hark, they are coming from the field. Shall we stand up here and see them as they pass toward Ilion? Good niece, do, sweet niece Cressida?
At your pleasure.
Here's an excellent place. Here we may see most bravely. I'll tell you them all by their names as they pass by. But mark Troilus above the rest.
Speak not,
Enter Aeneas.
speak not so loud.
That's Aeneas. Is not that a brave man? He's one of the flowers of Troy, I can tell you. But mark Troilus, you shall see anon.
Who's that?
Enter Antenor.
That's Antenor. He has a shrewd wit, I can tell you, and he's man good enough. He is one of the soundest judgments in Troy, whosoever, and a proper man of person. When comes Troilus, I'll show you Troilus anon. If he see me, you shall see him nod at me.
Will he give you the nod?
You shall see.
If he do, the rich shall have more.
Enter Hector.
That's Hector, that, look you, there's a fellow. Go thy way, Hector, there's a brave man, niece. Oh, brave Hector, look how he looks, there's a countenance. Is it not a brave man?
Oh, a brave man.
Is it a nod? It does a man's heart good. Look you, what hacks are on his helmet. Look you yonder, do you see? Look you there. There's no jesting, there's laying on, take off. Who will, as they say, there be hacks?
Be those with swords?
Enter Paris.
Swords, anything he cares not. And the devil come to him. It's all one, by God's lid. It does one heart good. Yonder comes Paris. Yonder comes Paris. Look ye yonder, niece. Isn't that a gallant man too? Isn't not? Why, this is brave now. Who said he came hurt home today? He's not hurt. Why, this will do Helen's heart good. Now when I could see Troilus now, you shall see Troilus anon.
Who's that?
Enter Helenus.
That's Helenus. I marvel where Troilus is. That's Helenus. I think he went forth not today. That's Helenus.
Can Helenus fight, uncle?
Helenus? No, yes, he'll fight indifferent. Well, I marvel where Troilus is. Hark, do you not hear the people cry, Troilus? Helenus is a priest.
What sneaking fellow comes yonder?
Enter
Where?
Troilus.
Yonder? That's Phobius. 'Tis Troilus! There's a man, niece him! Brave Troilus, the prince of chivalry.
Peace, for shame, peace.
Mark him, note him, O brave Troilus. Look well upon him, niece. Look you how his sword is bloodied, and his helm more hacked than Hector's, and how he looks and how he goes, O admirable youth. He never saw 23. Go thy way, Troilus, go thy way. Had I a sister were a grace, or a daughter a goddess, he should take his choice. Oh, admirable man, Paris is dirt to him, and I warrant Helen to change would give an eye the boot.
Here comes more.
Asses, fools, dolts, chaff and bran, porridge after meat. I could live and die in the eyes of Troylus. Ne'er look, the eagles are gone. Crows and daws. I had rather be such a man as Troylus than Agamemnon in all Greece.
There is amongst the Greeks Achilles, a better man than Troilus.
Achilles? A drayman, a porter, a very camel.
Well.
Well, why have you any discretion? Have you any eyes? Do you know what a man is? It's not birth, beauty, good shape, discourse, manhood, learning, gentleness, virtue, use, liberality, and such like, the spice and salt that season a man.
I, a minced man, and meant to be baked with no date in the pie, for then the man's date is out.
And you are such a woman, a man knows not at what ward you lie.
Upon my back to defend my belly, upon my wit to defend my wiles, upon my secrecy to defend mine honesty, my mask to defend my beauty, and you to defend all these. And at all these wards I lie, at 1,000 watches.
Say one of your watches.
Nay, I'll watch you for that, and that's one of the chiefest of them too. If I cannot ward what I would not have hit, I can watch you for telling how I took the blow, unless it swell past hiding, and then it's past watching.
You are such another.
Sir, my lord would instantly speak with you.
Where?
At your own house. There he unarms him.
Good boy, tell him I come. I doubt he be hurt. Fare ye well, good niece.
Adieu, uncle.
I will be with you, niece, by and by.
To bring, uncle.
A token from Troilus.
By the same token, you are a bawd. Words, vows, gifts, tears, and love's full sacrifice. He often in another's enterprise. But more in Troilus 1,000-fold I see, than in the glass of Pandar's praise may be. Yet hold I off. Women are angels wooing. Things woon are done, joy's soul lies in the doing. That she beloved knows not that knows not this. Men price the thing ungained more than it is, that she was never yet that ever knew love got so sweet as when desire did sue. Therefore this maxim out of love I teach, achievement is command, ungained beseech. Then though my heart's content firm love doth bear, nothing of that shall from mine eyes appear.
Exit. 1-3. Enter Agamemnon, Nestor, Ulysses, Diomedes, Menelaus with others.
Princes, what grief hath set these jaundies o'er your cheeks? The ample proposition that hope makes in all designs begun on earth below fails in the promised largeness, checks and disasters. Grow in the vein of actions highest reared, as knots by the conflux of meeting sap infects the sound pine and diverts his grain. Tortive and
Derek, you seem to be frozen. Hi, Derek, are you there?
He's
here.
frozen. I can't
I was
hear
frozen.
his sound. Does anybody hear him?
No, I think
Okay.
I think he went out to come back in again.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Let's
Yes, this
give
was
him
a
a
big
moment.
problem they used to have in ancient Roman and Greek Zoom meetings.
Let's give him a moment, and then If after that, Paul just take over, and then I can take back over Nestor.
Yes, enter Agamemnon, Nestor, Ulysses, Diomedes, Menelaus with others. And we'll just, because it was, where was he up to? He was.
We have to just start over.
Yeah, all right. Well, I'll restart then, and when he gets back, he can then take over from wherever we get to. Princes, what grief hath set these jaundice o'er your cheeks? The ample proposition that hope makes in all designs begun on earth below fails in the promised largeness, checks and disasters, grows in the veins of actions highest reared, as knots by the conflux of meeting sapped infects the sound pined, and diverts his grain, tortive and errant from his course of growth. Nor, princes, is it matter new to us that we come short of our suppose so far, that after 7 years' siege, yet Troy walls stand, sith ever action that hath gone before, whereof we have record, trial they draw, bias and thwart, not answering the aim, and that unbodied figure of the thought that gave surmised shape. Why then, you princes, do you with cheeks abashed behold our works, and call them shames, which are indeed naught else but the protractive trials of great Jove, to find persistive constancy in men, the fineness of which metal is not found in fortune's love? For then the bold and coward, the wise and fool, the artist and unread, the hard and soft, seem all affinned and kin. But in the wind and tempest of her frown, distinction with a broad and powerful fan, puffing at all winnows the light away, and what hath mass or matter by itself lies in virtue and unmingled.
Okay. With due observance of the godlike sea, great Agamemnon, Nestor shall apply thy latest words. In the reproof of chance lies the true proof of men. The sea being smooth, how many shallow bauble boats dare sail upon her ancient breast, making their way with those of nobler boat? But let the ruffian Boreas once enrage the gentle Thetis, and anon, behold, the strong-ribbed bark through liquid mountains cut, bounding between the two moist elements like Perseus' horse. Where's in the saucy boat, whose weak, untimbered sides, but even now could rival greatness, either to harbor fled, or made a toast for Neptune? Even so does valor show, and valor's worth divide in storms of fortune. For in her ray and brightness the herd hath more annoyance by the breeze and by the tiger. But when the splitting wind makes flexible the knees of knotted oaks and flies fled under shade, why then to think of courage is roused with rage to sympathize, and with an accent turned in self-same key retires to chiding fortune.
Agamemnon, thou great commander, nerves and bone of Greece, heart of our numbers, soul and onely spirit, in whom the tempers and the minds of all should be shut up. Hear what Ulysses speaks. Besides the applause and approbation, the which most mighty, for thy place and sway, and thou, most reverend, for the stretched out life I give to both your speeches, which were such as Agamemnon and the hand of Greece should hold up high in brass, and such again should with a bond of air strong as the axle tree on which heaven rides, knit all the Greekish ears to his experienced tongue. Yet let it please both thou, great and wise, to hear Ulysses speak. Troy, yet upon his bases, has been down, and the great Hector's sword had lacked a master but for these instances. The specialty of rule hath been neglected, and look how many Grecian tents do stand hollow upon this plain, so many hollow factions, when that the general is not like the hive, to whom the foragers shall all repair. What honey is expected? Degree being eviscerated, the unworthiest shows as fairly in the mask. The heavens themselves, the planets, and this center observe degree, priority, and place in sisture, course, proportion, season, form, office, and custom in all line of order. And therefore is the glorious planet Sol in noble eminence enthroned and sphered amidst the other, whose medicinable eye corrects the influence of evil planets and posts like the commandment of a king, sends check to good and bad. But when the planets in evil mixture to disorder wander, what plagues and what portents, what mutiny, what raging of the sea, shaking of earth, commotion in the winds, frights, changes, horrors, divert and crack, rend and deracinate the unity and married calm of states quite from their fixture. Oh, when degree is shaked, when is the ladder of all high designs? The enterprise is sick. How could communities, degrees in schools, and brotherhoods in cities, peaceful commerce from dividable shores, the primogenity of and due of birth, prerogative of age, crowns, scepters, laurels, but by degree stand in authentic place. Take but degree away, untune that string, and hark what discord follows. Each thing melts in mere oppugnancy. The bounded waters should lift their bosoms higher than the shores and make sop of all this solid globe. Strength should be lord of imbecility, and the rude son should strike his father dead. Force should be right, or rather right and wrong, between whose endless jar justice resides, should lose their names, and so should justice too. Then everything include itself in power, power into will, will into appetite, and appetite and universal wolf, so doubly seconded with will and power, must make perforce an universal prey, and last eat up himself. Great Agamemnon, this chaos, when degree is suffocate, follows the choking, and this neglection of degree it is that by a pace goes backward with a purpose it hath to climb. The generals disdain by him one step below, he by the next by him beneath, so every step exampled by the first pace that is sick of his superior, grows to an envious fervor of pale and bloodless emulation, and 'tis thus fervor that keeps Troy on foot, not her own sinews. To end a tale of length, Troy in our weakness stands not in her strength.
Most wisely hath Ulysses here discovered the fever whereof all our power is sick.
The nature of the sickness found, Ulysses, what is the remedy?
The great Achilles, whom opinion crowns, the sinew and forehand of our host, having his ear full of his airy fame, grows dainty of his worth, and in his tent lies mocking our designs. With him, Patroclus, upon a lazy bed, the livelong day, breaks scurril jests, and with ridiculous and silly action, which Slanderer, he imitation calls, he pageants us. Sometime, great Agamemnon, sometime the great Agamemnon, the topless deputation he puts on, and like a strutting player whose conceit lies in his hamstring, and doth think it rich to hear the wooden dialogue and sound twixt his stretching footing and the scaffoldage, such to be pitied and arrested seeming, he acts thy greatness in, and when he speaks, 'tis like a chime amending with terms unsquare, which from the tongue of roaring Typhon dropped, would seem hyperboles, all this fusty stuff. The large Achilles on his pressed bed lolling, from his deep chest lets out loud applause, cries, excellent, 'tis Agamemnon right. Now play me, Nestor, hem and stroke thy beard, as he being dressed to some oration. That's done as near the extremest ends of parallels as like Ulcan and his wife. Yet God Achilles still cries excellent. 'Tis Nestor right. Now play him me, Patroclus, arming to answer in a night alarm, and then forsooth the faint defects of age must be the skein of mirth, to cough and spit, and with a palsy fumbling on his gorget, shake in and out of the rivet, and at this sport, sir, valor dies, cries, oh, enough for Patroclus, or give me ribs of steel, I should split all in pleasure of my spleen. And in this fashion, all our abilities, gifts, natures, shapes, severals and generals of grace exact, achievements, plots, orders, preventions, excitements to the field, or speech for truce, success or loss, what is or is not, serves as stuff for these two to make paradoxes.
And in imitation of these twain, who, as Ulysses says, opinion crowns with an imperial voice. Many are in fact. Ajax has grown self-wild and bears his head in such a rein as full as proud a place as broad Achilles. Keeps his tent like him, makes factious feats, rails on our state of war, bold as an oracle, and sets Thersites, a slave, whose gall coined slanders like a mint, to match us in comparisons with dirt, to weaken our discredit, our exposure, how rank soever rounded in with danger.
They tax our policy and call it cowardice. Count wisdom as no member of the war, forestall prescience, and esteem no act but that of hand. The still in mental parts that two contrive, how many hands shall strike when fitness calls them on, and know by measure of what their observant toil the enemy's weight. Why, this hath not a finger's dignity. They call this bed work, mappery, closet wares, so that the ram that batters down the wall, for the great swing and rudeness of his poise, they place before his hand that made the engine of those that with the finesse of their souls by reason guide his execution.
Let this be granted, and Achilles' horse makes many fetus sons.
What trumpet? Look, Menelaus.
From Troy.
What would you for our tent?
Is this great Agamemnon's tent, I pray you?
Even this?
May one that is a herald and a prince do a fair message to his kingly eyes?
With surety stronger than Achilles' arm, for all the Greekish heads, which with one voice call Agamemnon head and general.
Fair leave and large security. How may a stranger to those most imperial looks know them from eyes of other mortals?
How?
I asked that I might waken reverence, and bid the cheek be ready with a blush, modest as morning, when she coldly eyes the youthful Phoebus, which is that god, and off his guiding men, which is the high and mighty Agamemnon.
This Troilus scorns us, or the men of Troy are ceremonious courtiers.
Courtiers as free as debonair, unarmed as bending angels, that's their fame and peace. But when they would seem soldiers, they have galls, good arms, strong joints, true swords, and great jaws of core, nothing so full of heart. But peace, Aeneas, peace, Troyan, lay thy finger on thy lips. The worthiness of praise disdains his worth, if that the praise himself brings the praise forth. But what the repining enemy commends, that breath fame blows, that praise so pure transcends.
Sir, you of Troy, call yourself Aeneas?
I, Greek, that is my name.
What's your affairs, I pray you?
Sir, pardon, 'tis for Agamemnon's ears.
He hears naught privately that comes from Troy.
Nor I from Troy come not to whisper with him. I bring a trumpet to awake his ear, to set his seat on that attentive bent, and then to speak.
Speak frankly as the wind, it is not Agamemnon's sleeping hour. That thou shalt know, Troyan, he is awake, he tells thee so himself.
Trumpet blow aloud. Send thy brass voice through all these lazy tents, and every Greek of metal let him know what Troy means fairly shall be spoke aloud.
Sound trumpet.
We have great Agamemnon here in Troy, a prince called Hector. Priam is his father, who in his dull and long continued truce is resty grown. He bade me take a trumpet and to this purpose speak. Kings, princes, lords, if there be one among the fairest of Greece that holds his honor higher than his ease, and feeds his praise more than he fears his peril, that knows his valor and knows not his fear, that loves his mistress more than in confession, but true and vows to her own lips he loves, and dare avow her beauty and her worth in other arms than hers. To him this challenge. Hector, in view of Trojans and of Greeks, shall make it good, or do his best to do it. He hath a lady, wiser, fairer, truer than ever Greek did couple in his arms, and will tomorrow with his trumpet call midway between your tents and walls of Troy, to rouse a Grecian that is true in love. If any come, Hector shall honor him. If none, he'll say in Troy when he retires, the Grecian dames are sunburnt, and not worth the splinter of a lance, even so much.
This shall be told of our lovers, Lord Aeneas. If none of them have soul in such a kind, we left them all at home. But we are soldiers, and may that soldier a mere recreant prove that means not, hath not, or is not in love, that if then one is, or hath a means to be, that one meets Hector. If no one else, I am he.
Tell him of Nestor, one that was a man when Hector's grandsire sucked. He is old now. But if there be not in our Grecian host a nobleman that hath no spark of fire to answer for his love, tell him from me. I'll hide my silver beard in a gold beaver, and in my vambrance put my withered bronze, and meeting him, tell him that my lady was fairer than his grand dam, and as chaste as may be in the world, his youth and flood. I'll prove this truth with my 3 drops of blood. Now heavens forfend such scarcity of men.
Amen. Fair Lord Aeneas, let me touch your hand. To our pavilion shall I lead you, sir. Achilles shall have word of this intent. So shall each lord of Greece from tent to tent. Yourselves shall feast with us before you go and find the welcome of a noble foe. Nestor.
What says Ulysses?
I have a young conception in my brain. Be you my time to bring it some shape.
What is it?
Blunt wedges rive hard knots. The seated pride that hath to this maturity blown up in rank Achilles must or now be cropped, or shedding breed a nursery of like evil to overbulk us all.
Well, and how?
This challenge that the gallant Hector sends, however it is spread in general name, relates in purpose only to Achilles.
True, the purpose is perspicuous in substance. His grossness, little characters sum up, and in the publication make no strain, but that Achilles were his brain, as barren as banks of Libya. Apollo 'tis dry enough, will with great speed of judgment, I with celerity find Hector's purpose, pointing on him.
And wake him to the answer, think you?
Why, 'tis most meet. Who may you well suppose that can from Hector bring those honors off, if not Achilles? Though it be a sportful combat, yet in the trial much opinion dwells. For here the Trojans taste our dearest repute, with their finest palate, and trust to me, Ulysses, our imputation shall be oddly poised in this violent action. For its success, although particular shall give a scantling of good or bad into the general, and in such indexes, although such pricks to their subsequent volumes there is seen, the baby figure of the giant mass of things to come at large. It is supposed he that meets Hector issues from our choice, and choice, being mutual act of all our souls, makes merit her election, and doth boil, as for from us all, a man distilled out of our virtues, who miscarrying what heart receives from hence a conquering part, to steal a strong opinion to themselves.
Give pardon to my speech. Therefore, 'tis meet, Achilles meet not Hector. Let us, like merchants, first show foul wares and think perchance they'll sell. If not, the luster of the better shall exceed by showing the worst first. Do not consent that ever Hector and Achilles meet, for both our honor and our shame in this are dogged with two strange followers.
I see them not with my old eyes. What are they?
What glory our Achilles shares from Hector, were he not proud, we all should share with him. But he already is too insolent, and it were better parched in Africa's sun than in the pride and salt scorn of his eye should he escape Hector fair. If he were foiled, why then we do our main opinion crush in taint of our best man. No, make a lottery, and by device let blockish Ajax draw the sword to fight with Hector. Among ourselves give him allowance for the better man, for that will physic the great Myrmidon, who broils in loud applause, and make him fall. His crest, that prouder than blue iris bends, if the dull brainless Ajax come safe off, we'll dress him up in voices. If he fail, yet go we under our opinion still that we have better men, but hit or miss our project's life, this shape of sense assumes. Ajax employed plucks down Achilles' plume.
Now, Ulysses, I begin to relish thy advice, and I will give a taste thereof forthwith. To Agamemnon, go we to him straight. Two curs shall tame each other, pride alone, must are the masters on, as 'twere a bone.
Exeunt. Enter Ajax and Thersites.
Thersites,
Agamemnon, how if he had biles full over generally,
Thersites,
and those biles did run, say so. Did not the general run then? Were not that a bocce core?
dog,
Then would come some matter from him. I see none now.
thou bitch wolf's son, canst thou not here feel then?
The plague of Greece upon thee, thou mangled beef-witted lord!
Speak then, thou unsalted leaven. Speak, I will eat thee into handsomeness.
I shall soon rail thee into wit and holiness, but I think thy horse will sooner con an oration without book than thou learn prayer without book. Thou canst strike, canst thou? Or Muriel on thy jade's tricks.
Toadstool, learn me the proclamation.
If thou think I have no sense, thou strikest me thus.
The proclamation?
Thou art proclaimed a fool, I think.
Do not, Porpentine, do not, my fingers itch.
I would thou didst itch from head to foot, and I had the scratching of thee. I would make thee the loathsomest scab in Greece. When thou art forth in the incursions, thou strikest as slow as another.
I say the proclamation.
Thou grumblest and railest every hour on Achilles, and thou art as full of envy as his greatness, as the Cerberus is his Proserpina's beauty. Aye, thou barkest at him.
Mistress.
Thou should strike him, Ajax Cobluffy. He would pun thee into shivers with his fist, as a sailor breaks a biscuit, you horse and chariot. Do.
Thou stool for a witch.
I do. Yeah, thou sudden-witted lord. Thou hast no more brain than I have in my elbows. And Asinico may tutor thee, scurvy villain ass. Thou art here but to thrash Trojans, and thou art bought and sold among those of any wit like a barbarian slave. If thou used to beat me, I will begin at thy heel and tell what thou art by inches, thou thing of no bowels, thou.
You dog.
Yes, scurvy lord.
You cur.
Yeah, Mars is idiot. Yeah, do, Rudis, do, camel, do.
Why, how now, Ajax? Wherefore do ye thus? How now, Thersites? What's the matter, man?
You see him there, do you?
Aye, what's the matter?
Look at him.
So I do. What's the matter?
And yeah, but regard him well.
Well, why so I do?
You look not well upon him, for whosoever you take him to be, he is Ajax.
I know that, fool.
Yeah, but that fool knows not himself.
Therefore, I beat thee.
Oh, lo, what modicums of wit he utters. His evasions have ears thus long. I have bobbed his brain more than he has beaten my bones. It will buy 9 sparrows for a penny, and his pia mater is not worth the 9th part of a sparrow. And this Lord Achilles, Ajax, who wears his wit in his belly, is his guts in his head. I tell you what I say to him.
What?
I say, this Ajax.
Nay, good Ajax.
He has not so much wit.
Nay, I must hold you.
As will stop the eye of Helen's needle for whom he comes to fight.
Peaceful?
I would have peace and quietness, but the fool will not. He, there, that, look you there.
Oh, thou damned cur, I shall.
Will you set your wit to a fool's?
Now, I warn you, the fools will shame it.
Good words, Thersites.
What's the quarrel?
I bade the vile go learn me the tenor of the proclamation, and he rails upon me.
I serve thee not.
Well, go to.
I serve here voluntarily.
Your last service was sufferance. 'Twas not voluntary. No man is beaten voluntary. Ajax was here the voluntary, and you as under an impress.
Oh, even so, a great deal of your wit too lies in your sinews, or else there may be liars. Oh, Hector, he's gonna have a great catch and knock either of your brains as good as crack as fusty nut with no kernel.
What with me to Thersites?
Oh, and there's Ulysses and old Nestor, whose wit was moldy, or their grandsires had nails, yoke you like draft oxen and make you plow up the wars.
What?
Yeah, good suit to Achilles, to Ajax too.
I shall cut out your tongue.
'Tis no matter, I shall speak as much as thou afterwards.
No more words, Thersites. Peace.
Oh, I will hold my peace when Achilles' brooch bids me, shall I?
There's for you, Patroclus.
I'll see you hang like clappoles ere I come any more to your tents. I will keep where there is wit stirring and leave the faction of fools.
Exit.
Good riddance.
Marry, this, sir, is proclaimed throughout our host, that Hector, by the first hour of the sun, will with a trumpet twixt our tents in Troy, tomorrow morning call some knight to arms that hath a stomach, and such a one as dare maintain I know not what, 'tis trash. Farewell.
Farewell. Who shall answer him?
I know not. 'Tis put to lottery. Otherwise, he knew his man.
Oh, meaning you? I will go learn more of it.
Enter Priam, Hector, Troilus, Paris, and Helenus. After so many hours, live speeches spent, thus once again, says Nestor from the Greeks, deliver Helen and all damage else, as honor, loss of time, travel expense, wounds, friends, and what else dear that is consumed in hot digestion of this cormant war shall be struck off. Hector, what say you to it?
Though no man lesser fears the Greeks than I, as far as touches my particular. Yet, dread Priam, there is no lady of more softer bowels, more spongy to suck in the sense of fear, more ready to cry out who knows what follows than Hector's. The wound of peace is surely secure, but modest doubt is called the beacon of the wise, the tent that searches to the bottom of the worst. Let Helen go. Since the first sword was drawn upon this question, every tight soul amongst many thousand dimes hath been as dear as Helen. I mean of ours. If we have lost so many tenths of ours to guard a thing not ours, nor worth to us, I've had it our name, the value of 1/10, what merits is that reason which denies a yielding of her up?
Fie, my brother. Weigh you the worth an honor of a king so great as our dread fathers in a scale of common ounces? With you, with Compter's sum, the past proportion of his infinite, and buckle in a waist most fathomless, with spans and inches so diminutive as fears and reasons. Fie, for godly shame.
No marvel though you bite so sharp of reasons. You are so empty of them, should not our father bear this great sway of his affairs with reason, because your speech has none to tell him so?
You are for dreams and slumbers, brother priest. You fur your gloves with reason. Here are your reasons. You know an enemy intends you harm. You know a sword employed is perilous, and reason flies the object of all harm. Who marvels then when Helenus beholds a Grecian and his sword, if he do set the very wings of reason to his heels, and fly like children's Mercury from Jove, or like a star disorbed? Nay, if we talk of reason, sets shut our gates in sleep, manhood and honor should have hare hearts, would they but fat their thoughts with this crammed reason and respect, make liars pale and lustihood deject.
Brother, she is not worth what she does cost the keeping.
What's aught but as 'tis valued.
But value dwells not in particular will. It holds his estimate and dignity, as well as where 'tis precious of itself, as in the prizer. 'Tis mad idolatry to make the service greater than the god. And the will dotes that is attributive to what infectiously itself affects without some image of the affected merit.
I take today a wife, and my election is led on in the conduct of my will enkindled by mine eyes and ears, two traded pilots twixt the dangerous shore of will and judgment. How may I avoid? Although my will distaste what it elected, the wife I chose, there can be no evasion to blench from this, and to stand firm by honor. We turn not back the silks upon the merchant when we have soiled them, nor the remainder of viands we do not throw in unrespective sieve because we now are full. It was thought meet, Paris should do some vengeance on the Greeks. Your breath with full consent belied his sails. The seas and winds, old wranglers, took a truce and did him service. He touched the ports desired, and for an old aunt whom the Greeks held captive, he brought a Grecian queen whose youth and freshness wrinkles Apollo's and makes pale the morning. Why keep we her? The Grecians keep our aunt. Is she worth keeping? Why, she is a pearl whose price hath lanced above 1,000 ships and turned crowned kings to merchants. If you'll avouch 'twas wisdom Paris went, as you must needs, for you all cried, go, go. If you'll confess, be brought home worthy prize, as you must needs, for you all clapped your hands and cried, inestimable. Why do you now the issue of your proper wisdom's rate, and do a deed that never fortune did? Beggar the estimation which you prized, richer than sea and land. O theft most base, that we have stolen what we do fear to keep, but thieves unworthy of a thing so stolen that in their country did them that disgrace, we fear to warrant in our native place.
Enter Cassandra raving.
Cry, Trojans, cry!
What noise, what shriek is this?
'Tis our mad sister, I do know her voice.
Cry, Trojans!
It is Cassandra.
Cry, Trojans, cry! Let me 10,000 eyes and I will fill them with prophetic tears.
Peace, sister, peace.
Virgins and boys, mid-age and wrinkled elders, soft infancy that nothing can but cry. After my clamors, let us pay betimes a moiety that massive left to gum. Cry, Trojans, cry. Practice your eyes with tears. Troy must not be, nor goodly a lion stand. Our firebrand brother Paris burns us all. Cry, Trojans, cry. A Helen and a woe. Cry, cry. Troy burns, or else let Helen go.
Exit.
Now, youthful Troylus, do not these high strains of divination in our sister's works some touches of remorse? Or is your blood so madly hot that no discourse of reason nor fear of bad success and a bad cause can qualify the same?
Why, brother Hector, we may not think the justice of each act such, and no other than event doth form it, nor once deject the courage of our minds, because Cassandra's mad. Her brain-sick raptures cannot distaste the goodness of a quarrel, which hath our several honors all engaged to make it gracious. For my private part, I am no more touched than all Priam's sons, and Jove forbid there should be done amongst us such things as might offend the weakest spleen to fight for and maintain. Else might the world convince of levity as well my undertaking as your counsels. But I attest the gods your full consent gave wings to my propension and cut off all fears attending on so dire a project. For what, alas, can these my single arms, what propagation is in one man's valor to stand the push and enmity of those this quarrel would excite? Yet I protest, were I alone to pass the difficulties and had as ample power as I have will, Paris should ne'er retract what he hath done, nor faint in the pursuit.
Paris, you speak like one besotted on your sweet delights. You have the honey still, but these the gall. So to be valiant is no praise at all.
Sir, I purpose not merely to myself the pleasure such a beauty brings with it, but I would have the soil of her fair rape, which wiped off in honorable keeping her. What treason were it to the ransacked queen, disgrace to your great worse, and shame to me, now to deliver her possession up on terms of base compulsion? Can it be that so degenerate a strain as this should once set footing in your generous bosoms? There's not the meanest spirit on our party without a heart to dare or sword to draw when Helen is defended. nor none so noble whose life were ill bestowed or death unfamed, where Helen is the subject. Then I say, well may we fight for her, whom we know well, the world's large spaces cannot parallel.
Paris and Troylus, you both said well, and on the cause in question now in hand have glozed, but superficially, not much unlike young men whom Aristotle thought unfit to hear moral philosophy. The reasons you allege do more conduce to the hot passion of distempered blood than to make up a free determination twas right and wrong. For pleasure and revenge have ears more deaf than adders to their voice of any true decision. Nature craves all dues be rendered to their owners. Now what nearer debt in all humanity than wife is to the husband? If this law of nature be corrupted through affection, and that great minds of partial indulgence to their benumbed walls resist the same, there is a law in which each well-ordered nation to curb those raging appetites that are most disobedient and refractory. If Helen then be wife to Sparta's king, as it is known she is, these mortal laws of nature and of nations speak aloud to have her back returned. Thus to persist in doing wrong extenuates not wrong, but makes it much more heavy. Hector's opinion is this way in way of truth. Yet nevertheless, my sprightly brethren, I propend to you in resolution to keep Helen still. For 'tis a cause that has no means dependence upon our joint and several dignities.
Why, there you touch the life of our design. Were it not glory that we more affected than the performance of our heaving spleens, I would not wish a drop of Trojan blood spent more in her defense. But worthy Hector, she is a theme of honor and renowned, a spur to valiant and magnanimous deeds whose present courage may beat down our foes, and fame in time to come canonize us. For I presume brave Hector would not lose so rich advantage of a promised glory as smiles upon the forehead of this action for the wide world's revenue.
I am yours, your valiant offspring of great Primus. I have a rousing challenge that amongst the dull and factious nobles of their Greeks will strike amazement to their drowsy spirits. I was advertised their great generals slept whilst emulation in the army crept. This, I presume, will waken.
Exeunt. Enter Thersites, Solus.
How now, Thersites? What? Lost in the labyrinth of thy fury? Shall the elephant Ajax carry it thus? He beats me and I rail at him. Worthy satisfaction were otherwise that I could beat him whilst he railed at me. But I learned to conjure and raise devils. I'll see some issue of my spiteful execrations. Then there's Achilles, a rare engineer. If Troy be not taken till these two undermine it, the walls will stand till they fall of themselves. Oh, great thunder darter of Olympus, forget that thou art Jove, the king of gods, and Mercury, lose all the serpentine craft of thy Caduceus if ye take not that little wit from them that they have, which short-armed ignorance itself knows is so abundant scarce, it will not in circumvention deliver a fly from a spider without drawing their massive irons and cutting the web. After this, the vengeance of the whole camp, or rather the Neapolitan bone ache, for that methinks is the curse depending on those that war for a placket. I have said my prayers, and devil envy say amen. What how, Lord Achilles?
Who's there? Oh, Thersites. Good Thersites, come in and rail.
Oh, if I could remember a gilt counterfeit, thou couldst not slip out of my contemplation. But it is no matter. Thyself upon thyself. The common curse of mankind, folly and ignorance be thine in great revenue. Heaven bless thee from a tutor, and discipline come not near thee. Let thy blood be thy direction to thy death. Then if she that lays thee out says thou art not a fair chorus, I'll be sworn and sworn upon she never shrouded any but Lazarus. Amen. Where's Achilles?
What, art thou devout? Was thou in prayer?
Aye, the heavens hear me.
Amen.
Enter Achilles.
Who's there?
Who's there? Oh,
It's Thersites, my lord.
Where? Where? Oh, where? Art thou come? Why, my cheese, my digestion, why hast thou not served thyself into my table so many meals? Come, what's Agamemnon?
thy commander Achilles. Then tell me, what's Patroclus? What's Achilles? Then tell me, Patroclus, what's Achilles?
Thy lord Thersites. Then tell me, I pray thee, what's Thersites?
Thy knower Patroclus. Then tell me, Patroclus, what art thou?
Thou must tell that thou knowest.
Oh, tell.
I'll decline the whole question. Agamemnon commands Achilles. Achilles is my lord. I am Patroclus' knower, and Patroclus is a fool.
Derive this? Come.
Agamemnon is a fool to offer to command Achilles. Achilles is a fool to be commanded. Thersites is a fool to serve such a fool, and this Patroclus is a fool positive.
Why am I a fool?
Make that demand of the power of thy prover. It suffices me, thou art. Look you, who comes here?
Enter Agamemnon, Ulysses, Nestor, Diomedes, Ajax, and Calchas.
Here is such patchery, such juggling, and such knavery. All the argument is a whore and a cuckold. A good quarrel to draw emulous factions and bleed to death upon.
Where is Achilles?
Within his tent, but ill disposed, my lord.
Let it be known to him that we are here. He sat our messengers and we laid by. Our appertainings, visiting of him, let him be told so, lest perchance he think we dare not move the question of our place, or know not what we are.
I shall say so to him.
We saw him at the opening of his tent. He is not sick.
Yes, lion sick of proud heart. You may call it melancholy, if you will favor the man, but by my head 'tis pride. Why let him show us the cause?
What moves Ajax thus to bay at him?
Achilles have inveigled his fool from him.
Who? Thersites?
He,
Will Ajax lack matter if he has lost his argument?
no, you see, he is his argument. That has his argument, Achilles.
All the better. Their fraction is more our wish than their faction, but it was a strong composure a fool could disunite.
The amity that wisdom knits not, folly may easily untie. Here comes Patroclus.
No Achilles with him.
The elephant hath joints, but none for courtesy. His legs are legs for necessity, not for flexure.
Achilles bids me say he is much sorry if anything more than your sport and pleasure did move your greatness and this noble state to call upon him. He hopes it is no other but for your health and your digestion's sake and after dinner's breath.
Hear you, Patroclus. We are too well acquainted with these answers, but his evasion, winged thus swift with scorn, cannot outfly our apprehension. Much attribute he hath, and much the reason why we ascribe it to him. Yet all his virtues, not virtuously on his own part beheld, do in our eyes begin to lose their gloss. Yea, like a fair fruit in an unwholesome dish, are like to rot untasted. Go and tell him, we come to speak with him, and you shall not sin if you do say, we think him overproud and under honest, in self-assumption greater than in the note of judgment, and worthier than himself, here tend the savage strangeness he puts on disguise, the holy strength of their command, and underwrite in an observing kind his humorous predominance. Yea, watch his course and time, his ebbs and flows, and if the passage and the whole stream of his commencement rode on his tide, go tell him this, and add that if he overhold his price so much, will none of him, but let him like an engine, not portable, lie under this report. Bring action hither, this cannot go to war. A stirring dwarf we do allowance give before a sleeping giant. Tell him so.
I shall, and bring his answer presently.
In second voice, we'll not be satisfied. We come to speak with him. Ulysses, entertain.
What is he more than another?
No more than what he thinks he is.
Is he so much? Do you not think he thinks himself a better man than I am?
No question.
Will you subscribe his thought and say he is?
No, noble Ajax, you are as strong, as valiant, as wise, no less noble, much more gentle, and altogether more tractable.
Why should a man be proud? How doth pride grow? I know not what pride is.
Your mind is the clearer, and your virtues the fairer. He that is proud eats up himself. Pride is his own glass, his own trumpet, his own chronicle, and whatever he praises itself, but in the deed, devours the deed in the praise.
Enter Ulysses.
I do hate a proud man, as I do hate the engendering of toads.
And yet he loves himself. Is it not strange?
Achilles will not to the field tomorrow.
What's his excuse?
He doth rely on none, but carries on the stream of his dispose without observance or respect of any in will particular and in self-admission.
Why will he not, upon our fair request, untent his person and share there with us?
Things as small as nothing, for request's sake only, he makes important. Possessed he is with greatness, and speaks not to himself, but with a pride that quarrels at self-breath. Imagined worth holds in his blood such swollen and hot discourse that twixt his mental and his active parts, kingdom Achilles in commotion rages and batters down himself. What should I say? He is so plagued proud that the death tokens of it cry no recovery.
Let Ajax go to him. Dear Lord, go you and greet him in his tent. 'Tis said he holds you well and will be led at your request a little from himself.
Oh, Agamemnon, let it not be so. We'll consecrate the steps that Ajax makes when they go from Achilles. Shall the proud lord that basks his arrogance with his own seam and never suffers matter of the world enter his thoughts, save such as doth revolve and ruminate himself? Shall he be worshipped? Of that we hold an idol more than he? No, this thrice worthy and right valiant lord shall not so stale his palm nobly acquired, nor by my will subjugate his merit, as amply liked as Achilles is, by going to Achilles, that were to enlarge his fat already pride, and add more colors to Cancer when he burns with entertaining great Hyperion. This Lord go to him. Jupiter forefend and say in thunder, Achilles, go to him.
Oh, this is well. He rubs the vein of him.
And how is silence? Drinks up his applause.
If I go to him with my armed fist, I'll push him o'er the face.
Oh no, you shall not go.
And he'd be proud with me. I'll feast his pride. Let me go to him.
Not for the worth that hangs upon our quarrel.
A paltry, insolent fellow.
How he describes himself.
Can he not be sociable?
The raven chides blackness.
I'll tell his humorous blood.
He will be the Phistian that should be the patient.
And all men were of my mind.
Wit would be out of fashion.
I should not bear it so. I should eat swords first. Shall pride carry it?
And to it you carry half.
I would have 10 shares. I will knead him. I will make him supple. He's not yet through warm.
Force him with prayers pouring. Poor, his ambition is dry.
My lord, you feed too much on this dislike.
Our noble general did not do so.
You must prepare to fight without Achilles.
Why, 'tis this naming of him does him harm. Here is a man, but 'tis before his face. I will be silent.
Wherefore should you so? He is not emulous as Achilles is.
Know the whole world he is as valiant.
A whoreson dog that shall palter with us thus. Would he were a Trojan.
What a vice were it in Ajax now.
If he were proud.
Or covetous of praise.
I or surely born.
Or strange or self-affected.
Thank the heavens, Lord, thou art of sweet composure. Praise him that gat thee, she that gave thee suck. Famed be thy tutor and thy parts of nature. Thrice famed beyond all thy erudition. But he that disciplined thine arms to fight, let Mars divide eternity in twain, and give him half, and for thy vigor. Bull-bearing Milo his addition yield, to sinewy Ajax. I will not praise thy wisdom, which like a board, a pale ashore confines this spacious and dilated parts. Here's Nestor, instructed by the antiquary times. He cannot but be wise. But pardon, Father Nestor, were your days as green as Ajax, and your brain so tempered, you should not have the eminence of him, but be as Ajax.
Shall I call you father?
Aye, my good son.
You ruled by him, Lord Ajax.
There is no tarrying here the heart, Achilles. Keeps thicket, please it our great general to call all his state of war. Fresh kings are come to Troy. Tomorrow we must with all our main of power stand fast. And here's a lord comes night from east to west and call their flower. Ajax shall cope the best.
Go we to council, let Achilles sleep. Light boats sail swift, though greater hulks draw deep.
Exeunt. Enter Pandarus.
Friend you, pray you a word. Do you not follow the young Lord Paris?
Aye, sir, when he goes before me.
You depend upon him, I mean?
Sir, I do depend upon the Lord.
You depend upon a notable gentleman. I must needs praise him.
The Lord be praised.
You know me, do you not?
Faith, sir, superficially.
Friend, know me better. I am the Lord Pandarus.
I hope I shall know your honor better.
I do desire it.
You are in the state of grace.
Grace, not so, friend. Honor and lordship are my titles. What music is this?
I do but partly know, sir. It is music in parts.
Know you the musicians?
Wholly, sir.
Who play they to?
To the hearers, sir.
At whose pleasure, friend?
At mine, sir, and theirs that love music.
Command, I mean.
Who shall I command, sir?
Friend, we understand not one another. I am to courtly and thou to cunning. At whose request do these men play?
That's to it indeed, sir. Marry, sir, at the request of Paris, my lord, who is there in person. With him the mortal Venus, the heart blood of beauty, love's invisible soul.
Who, my cousin Cressida?
No, sir, Helen. Could you not find out that by her attributes?
It should seem, fellow, thou hast not seen the lady Cressida. I come to speak with Paris from the Prince Troylus. I will make a complimental assault upon him for my business fees.
Sodden business. There's a stewed phrase indeed. Enter
There.
Paris and Helen.
Fair be to you, my lord, and to all this fair company, fair desires and all fair measure, fairly guide them, especially to you, fair queen, fair thoughts be thy fair pillow.
Dear Lord, you are full of fair words.
You speak your fair pleasure, sweet queen. Fair prince here is good broken music.
You have broken it, cousin, and by my life you shall make it whole again. You shall piece it out with a piece of your performance.
He is full of harmony.
I am full of harmony. Truly, lady, no.
Oh, sir.
Rude in sooth, and good sooth, very rude.
Well said, my lord. Well, you say so in fits.
I have business to my lord, dear queen. My lord, will you vouchsafe me a word?
Nay, this shall not hedge us out. We'll hear you sing certainly.
Well, sweet queen, you are pleasant with me, but marry thus, my lord, my dear lord, and most esteemed friend, your brother Troylus.
My lord Pandarus, honey sweet lord.
Go to, sweet queen, go to, commends himself most affectionately to you.
You shall not bob us out of our melody. If you do, our melancholy upon your head.
Sweet queen, that's a sweet queen. I faith.
And to make a sweet lady sad is a sour offense.
Nay, that shall not serve your turn. That shall it not, in truth, nay, I care not for such words. No, no. And my lord, he desires you that if the king call for him at supper, you will make his excuse.
My lord Pandarus.
What says my sweet queen? Very, very sweet queen.
What exploits in hand? Where sups he tonight?
Nay, but my lord.
What says my sweet queen? My cousin will fall out with you.
You must not know where he sups.
I'll lay my life.
I'll lay my life with my disposer, Cressida.
No, no, no such matter. You are wide. Come, your disposer is sick.
Well, I'll make excuses.
I, my good lord. I, good my lord. Why should you say, Cressida? No, your disposer's sick.
I spy.
You spy? What do you spy? Come, give me an instrument now, sweet queen.
Why, this is kindly done.
My niece is horribly in love with the thing you have, sweet queen.
She shall have it, my lord, if it be not my lord Paris.
No, she'll none of him. They two are twain.
Falling in after falling out may make them three.
Come, come, I'll hear no more of this. I'll sing you a song now.
Aye, prithee. Now by my troth, sweet lad, thou hast a fine forehead.
Aye, you may, you may.
Let thy song be love. This love will undo us all. Oh, Cupid, Cupid, Cupid.
Love, I that it shall, faith.
I good now, love, love, nothing but love.
Love, nothing but love, still more. For oh, love's bow shoots buck and doe, the shafts confound, not that it wounds, but tickles still the sore. These lovers cry, oh ho, they die. Yet that which seems the wound to kill doth turn, oh ho, to ha ha he. So dying love lives still. Oh ho a while, but ha ha ha. Oh ho groans out for ha ha ha. Hey ho.
In love of faith to the very tip of the nose.
He eats nothing but dove's love, and that breeds hot blood, and hot blood begets hot thoughts, and hot thoughts beget hot deeds, and hot deeds is love.
Is this the generation of love, hot blood, hot thoughts, and hot deeds? Why, they are vipers. Love is a generation of vipers. Sweet Lord, who's afield today?
Hector, Deiphobus, Helenus, Antenor, and all the gallantry of Troy. I should fain have armed today, but my Nell would not have it so. How chance my brother Troylus went not?
He hangs the lip at something. You know all, Lord Pandarus.
Not I, honey sweet queen. I long to hear how they sped today. You'll remember your brother's excuse?
To a hair.
Farewell, sweet queen.
Commend me to your niece.
I will, sweet queen.
Down to retreat.
They come from the field. Oh, they're come from the field. Let us to Priam's hall to greet the warriors. Sweet Helen, I must woo you to help unarm our Hector. His stubborn buckles with this your white enchanting fingers touched shall more obey than to the edge of steel or force of Greekish sinews. You shall do more than all the island kings disarm, great Hector.
'Twill make us proud to be his servant, Paris. Yea, what he shall receive of us in duty, give us more palm and beauty than we have, yea, overshines ourself.
Sweet, above thought, I love her.
Exeunt, enter Pandarus, Troilus, man.
How now? Where's thy master? At my cousin Cressida's?
No, sir, he stays for you to conduct him hither.
Oh, here he comes. How now? How now?
Sirrah, walk off.
Have you seen my cousin?
No, Pandarus. I stalk about her door like to a strange soul upon the Stygian banks, staying for waftage. O be thou my Charon, and give me swift transportance to these fields where I may wallow in the lily beds proposed for the deserver. O gentle Pandar, from Cupid's shoulder pluck her painted wings and fly with me to Cressida.
Walk here in the orchard. I'll bring her straight.
I am giddy. Expectation whirls me round. The imaginary relish is so sweet that it enchants my senses. What will it be when that the watery palate's taste indeed loves thrice repured nectar? Death, I fear me, sounding destruction, or some joy to find, to subtle, potent, tuned to sharp in sweetness for the capacity of my ruder powers? I fear it much, and I do fear besides that I shall lose distinction in my joys, as doth a battle when they charge on heaps the enemy flying.
She's making her ready. She'll come straight. You must be witty now. She does so blush and fetches her wind so short as if she were afraid with a spirit. I'll fetch her. It is the prettiest villainy. She fetches her breath as short as a new tamed sparrow.
Even such a passion doth embrace my bosom. My heart beats thicker than a fever's pulse, and all my powers do their bestowing lose like vassalage at unawares, encountering the eye of majesty.
Enter Pandar and Cressida.
Come, what need you blush? Shame's a baby. Here she is. Swear the others now to her that you have sworn to me what you are gone again, what you must be watched, there you be made tame, must you? Come your wares, and you draw backward, we'll put you in fields. Why do you not speak to her? Come draw this curtain and let's see your picture. Alas the day, how loath you are to offend daylight, and twere dark you close sooner. So rub on and kiss the mistress. How now? A kiss and fee farm build their carpenter, the air is sweet. Nay, you shall fight your hearts out ere I part you. The falcon as the tercel for all the ducks in the river. Go to.
You have bereft me of all words, lady.
Words pay no debts. Give her deeds, but she'll bereave you of the deeds too if you call her activity in question. What billing again? Here's in witness, wherefore the parties interchangeably. Come in. I'll go get a fire.
Will you walk in, my lord?
O Cressida, how often have I wished me thus?
Wished, my lord. The gods grant. Oh, my lord?
What should they grant? What makes this pretty abruption? What to curious dregs espies my sweet lady in the fountain of our love?
More dregs than water if my tears have eyes.
Fears make devils of cherubims, they never see truly.
Blind fear that seeing reason leads, finds safer footing, then blind reason, stumbling without fear, to fear the worst oft cures the worse.
Let my lady apprehend no fear. In all Cupid's pageant there is presented no monster.
Nor nothing monstrous neither.
Nothing but our undertakings. When we vow to weep seas, live in fire, eat rocks, tame tigers, thinking it harder for our mistress to devise imposition enough than for us to undergo any difficulty imposed. This, the monstrosity in love, lady, that the will is infinite and the execution confined, that the desire is boundless and the act a slave to limit.
They say all lovers swear more performance than they are able, and yet reserve an ability that they never perform, vowing more than the perfection of 10, and discharging less than the 10th part of 1. They that have the voice of lions and the act of hares, are they not monsters?
Are there such are not we? Praise us as we are tasted, allow us as we prove. Our head shall go bare till merit lover part, no affection in reversion shall have a praise in present. We will not tame desert before his birth, and being born, his addition shall be humble. Few words to fair faith. Troylus shall be such to Cressida as what envy can say worse shall be a mock for his truth. And what truth can speak true is not truer than Troylus.
Will you walk in, my lord?
What, blushing still? Oh, sorry.
Andrus?
What? Blushing still? Have you not done talking yet?
Well, uncle, what folly I commit I dedicate to you.
I thank you for that. If my lord get a boy of you, you'll give him me. Be true to my lord. If he flinch, chide me for it.
You know, now your hostage is your uncle's word and my firm faith.
Nay, I'll give my word for her too. Our kindred, though they be long ere they be wooed, they are constant being one. They are burrs, I could tell you. They'll stick where they are thrown.
Boldness comes to me now and brings me heart. Prince Troylus, I have loved you night and day for many weary months.
Why was my Cressida then so hard to win?
Hard to seem one, but I was won, my lord, with the first glance, that ever pardon me. If I confess much, you will play the tyrant. I love you now, but till now not so much. But I might master it. In faith, I lie. My thoughts were like unbridled children grown too headstrong for their mother. See, we fools, why have I blabbed? Who shall be true to us when we are so unsecret to ourselves? But though I loved you well, I wooed you not. And yet good faith I wished myself a man, or that we women had men's privilege of speaking first. Sweet, bid me hold my tongue, for in this rapture I shall surely speak the thing I shall repent. See your silence, coming in dumbness. From my weakness draws my very soul of counsel. Stop my mouth.
And shall, albeit sweet music, issues thence?
Pretty in faith.
My lord, I do beseech you, pardon me. 'Twas not my purpose thus to beg a kiss. I am ashamed. Oh, heavens, what have I done? For this time will I take my leave, my lord.
Your leave, sweet Cressida.
Leave, and you take leave till tomorrow morning.
Pray you content you.
What offends you, lady?
Sir, mine own company.
You cannot shun yourself.
Let me go and try. I have a kind of self resteds with you, but an unkind self, that itself will leave to be another's fool. I would be gone. Where is my wit? I know not what I speak.
Well, know they what they speak that speak so wisely.
Perchance, my lord, I show more craft than love, and fell so roundly to a large confession, to angle for your thoughts, but you are wise, or else you love not. For to be wise and love exceeds man's might that dwells with gods above.
Oh, that I thought it could be in a woman, as if it can, I will presume in you, to feed for age her lamp in flames of love, to keep her constancy in plight and youth, outliving beauty's outward with a mind that doth renew swifter than blood decays, or that persuasion could put, but thus convince me that my integrity and truth to you might be affronted with the match and weight of such a winnowed purity in love. How were I then uplifted? But alas, I am as true as truth's simplicity, and simpler than the infancy of truth.
In that I'll war with you.
O virtuous fight, when right with right wars, who shall be most right? True swains in love shall in the world to come approve their truth by Troylus, when their rhymes full of protest, of oath and big compare, when similes truth tired with iteration, as true as steel, as plantage to the moon, as sun to day, as turtle to her mate, as iron to adamant, as earth to the center, after all comparisons of truth, as truth's antithecate author to be cited, as true as Troylus, shall crown up the verse and sanctify the numbers.
Prophet may you be, if I be false or swerve a hair from truth, when time is old or hath forgot itself, when water drops have worn the stones of Troy, and blind oblivion swallowed cities up, and mighty states characterless are graded, to dusty nothing, yet let memory, from faults to faults among false maids in love, upbraid my falsehood, when the have said as false, as air, as water, wind, or sandy earth, as fox to lamb, or wolf to heifer's calf, pard to the hind, or stepdame to her son. Yea, let them say to stick the heart of falsehood, as false as Cressida.
Go to, a bargain made. Seal it, I'll be the witness. Here, I hold your hand, here's my cousin's. If ever you prove false one to another, since I have taken such pain to bring you together, let all pitiful goers between be called to the world's end after my name. Call them all panders. Let all constant men be Troyluses, all false women Cressids, and all brokers between panders. Say amen.
Amen.
Amen. Whereupon I will show you a chamber, which bed, because it shall not speak of your pretty encounters, press it to death. Away.
Exeunt.
And Cupid grant all tongue-tied maidens here bed, chamber, pander to provide this gear.
Exit. Enter Ulysses, Diomedes, Nestor, Agamemnon, Calchas. Now, princes, for the service I have done, the advantage of the time prompts me aloud to call for recompense. Appear it to mind that through the sight I bear in things to love, I have abandoned Troy, left my possession, incurred a traitor's name, exposed myself from certain and possessed conveniences to doubtful fortune, sequestering from me all that time, acquaintance, custom, and tradition made tame and most familiar to my nature. And here to do you service and become as new into the world, strange, unacquainted, I do beseech you, in way of taste, to give me now a little benefit out of those many registered in promise, which you say live to come in my behalf.
What wouldst thou of us, Trojan? Make demand.
You have a Trojan prisoner called Antenor yesterday took. Troy holds him very dear. Often have you, thanks therefore, desired my Cressida in right great exchange, whom Troy hath still denied. But this Antenor I know is such a rest in their affairs that their negotiations all must slack, wanting his manage, and they will almost give us a prince of blood, a son of Priam, in change of him. Let him be sent, great princes, and so he shall buy my daughter, and her presence shall quite strike of all service I have done in most accepted pain.
Let Diomedes bear him, and bring us Cressida hither. Calchas shall have what he requests of us. Good Diomed, furnish you fairly for this interchange. Withal bring word if Hector will tomorrow be answered in his challenge. Ajax is ready.
This shall I undertake, and 'tis a burden which I am proud to bear.
Exit. Achilles and Patroclus stand in their tent.
Achilles stands in the entrance of his tent. Please it our general pass strangely by him, as if he were forgot, and princes all lay negligent and loose regard upon him. I will come last. 'Tis like he'll question me. Why such unpulsive eyes are bent? Why turned on him? If so, I have derision medicinable to use between your strangeness and his pride, which his own will shall have desire to drink. It may do good. Pride hath no other glass to show itself but pride. For supple knees feed arrogance, and are the proud man's.
We'll execute your purpose and put on a form of strangeness as we pass along. So do each lord, and either greet him not, or else disdainfully, which shall shake him more. Then, if not looked on, I will lead the way. What comes the general to speak of me? You know my mind, I'll fight no more against Troy. What says Achilles, would he aught with us?
Would you, my lord, aught with the general?
No.
Nothing, my lord.
The better. Good day, good day.
How do you? How do you?
What does the cuckold scorn me?
How now, Patroclus?
Good morrow, Ajax.
Ah,
Good morrow.
aye, and good next day, too.
Exit.
What mean these fellows? Know they not Achilles?
They pass by strangely. They were used to bend, to send their smiles before them to Achilles, to come as humbly as they used to creep to holy altars.
What, am I poor of late? 'Tis certain greatness once fallen out with fortune must fall out with men too. What the decline is, he shall as soon read in the eyes of others as feel in his own fall. For men like butterflies show not their mealy wings but to the summer, and not a man for simply being man hath any honor but honor for those honors that are without him, as place, riches, and favor, prizes of accidents as office merit, which when they fall as being slippery standards, The love that leaned on them is slippery too, doth pluck down one another, and together die in the fall. But 'tis not so with me. Fortune and I are friends. I do enjoy at ample point all that I did possess, save these men's looks, who do think find out something not worth in me such rich beholding, as they have often given. Here is Ulysses. I'll interrupt his reading. How now, Ulysses?
Now, great Thetis' son.
What are you reading?
A strange fellow here writes me that man, how dearly ever parted, how much in having or without or in cannot make boast to have that which he hath, nor feels not what he owes, but by reflection. And when his virtues, arming upon others, heat them, and they retort, that heat again to the first giver.
This is not strange, Ulysses. The beauty that is born here in the face, the bearer knows not, but commends itself to others' eyes. Nor doth the eye itself, that most pure spirit of sense, behold itself, not going from itself, but eye to eye opposed, salutes each other with each other's forms. For speculation turns not to itself, till it hath traveled and is married there, where it may see itself. This is not strange at all.
I do not strain at the position, it is familiar, but at the author's drift, who in his circumstance expressly proves that no man is the lord of anything, though in and of him there be much consisting, until he communicates his parts to others, nor doth he of himself know them for aught, till he behold them formed in the applause, where they are extended, who like an arch reverberate the voice, or like a gate of steel, fronting the sun, receives and renders back his figure and his heat. I was much rapt in this, and apprehended here immediately the unknown Ajax. Heavens, what a man is there! A very horse that he knows, that has he knows not what nature, what things there are. Most object in regard and dear in use, what things again most dear in the esteem, and poor in worth. Now shall we see tomorrow an act that very chance doth throw upon him Ajax renowned. Oh heavens, what some men do when some men leave to do. How some men creep in skittish fortune's hall, while others play the idiots in her eyes. How one man eats into another's pride, while pride is fasting in his wantonness. To see these Grecian lords, why, even already they clap the lubber Ajax on the shoulder, as if his foot were one brave Hector's breast, and great Troy shrieking.
Do you believe it? For they passed by me as misers do by beggars, neither gave to me good word nor look. What, are my deeds forgot?
A time hath my lord a wallet at his back, wherein he puts alms for oblivion. A great-sized monster of ingratitudes, those scraps are good deeds past, which are devours as fast as they are made, forgot as soon as done. Perseverance, dear my lord, keep honor bright, to have done is to hang, quite out of fashion, like a rusty mail in monumental mockery. Take the instant way, ding, for honor travels in a strait so narrow, whereon but goes abreast, keeps then the path, for emulation hath 1,000 sons, that one by one pursue, if you give way, or turn aside from the direct forthright. Like to an entred tide they all rush by, and leave you him most than what they do in present, though less than yours in past must o'ertop yours. For time is like a fashionable host that slightly shakes his parting guests by the hand, and with his arms outstretched, as he would fly, grasps in the comer. The welcome ever smiles, and farewell goes out sighing. Let not virtue seek remuneration for the thing it was. For beauty, wit, high birth, vigor of bone, desert in service, love, friendship, charity are subjects all to envious and calumniating time. One touch of nature makes the whole world kin, that all with one consent praise newborn gods, though they are made and mouldest of things past and go to dust. That is a little guilt, more law than guilt or dusted. The present eye praises the present object. Then marvel not, thou great and complete man, that all Greeks begin to worship Ajax, since things in motion sooner catch the eye than what stirs not. The cry went once on thee, and still it might, and yet it may again, if thou wouldst not entomb thyself alive, and cause thy reputation, encase thy reputation in thy tent, whose glamorous deeds, but in these fields of late, made emulous missions mongst the gods themselves, and drave great Mars to faction.
Of this, my privacy, I have strong reasons.
But against your privacy, the reasons are more potent and heroical. 'Tis known, Achilles, that you are in love with Priam's daughters.
Huh? Known?
Is that a wonder? The providence that's in a watchful state knows almost everything, finds bottom in the uncomprehensive depth, keeps place with thought, and almost like the gods, do thoughts unveil in their dumb cradles. There is a mystery with whom relation durst never meddle in the soul of state, which hath an operation more divine than breath or pen can give expression to. All the commerce that you have had with Troy as perfectly as ours, as yours, my lord, and better would it fit Achilles much to throw down Hector than Polyxena. But it must grieve young Pyrrhus now at home, when fame shall in our hands sound her trump, and all the Greek girls shall tripping sing. Great Hector's sister did Achilles win, but our great Ajax bravely beat him down. Farewell, my lord. I, as your lover, speak. The fool slides o'er the ice that you should break.
To this effect, Achilles, have I moved you? A woman impudent and mannish grown is not more loath than an effeminate man in time of action. I stand condemned for this. They think my little stomach to the war and your great love to me restrains you thus. Sweet, rouse yourself, and the weak, wanton Cupid shall from your neck unloose his amorous fold, and like dewdrop from the lion's mane be shook to air.
Shall Ajax fight with Hector?
Aye, and perhaps receive much honor by him.
See, my reputation is at stake. My fame is shroudly gored.
Well, then beware those wounds heal ill that men do give themselves. Omission to do what is necessary seals a commission to a blank of danger, and danger, like an ague, subtly taints even then when they sit idly in the sun.
Go, call Thersites hither, sweet Patroclus. I'll send the fool to Ajax and desire him to invite the Trojan lords after the combat to see us here unarmed. I have a woman's longing, an appetite that I am sick withal, to see great Hector in his weeds of peace, to talk with him, to behold his visage, even to my full of view, a labor saved.
Enter Thersites.
Oh, a wonder. I said it's a wonder.
Yes, and what? It's my line.
Oh, well, Ajax, he goes up and down the field asking for himself.
How so?
He must fight singly tomorrow with Hector and is so prophetically proud of his hero call, cudgeling, that he raves and saying nothing.
How can that be?
He stalks up and down like a peacock at stride, stand and ruminates like a hostess that has no arithmetic but her brain to set down her reckoning, bites his lip with a politic regard, as who should say there were wit in his head, and toot out, and so there is, but it lies as coldly in him as fire in the flint, which will not show without knocking. The man's undone forever. For if Hector break not his neck in the combat, he'll break it himself in vain glory. He knows not me. I said, good morrow, Ajax, and he replies, thanks, Agamemnon. What think you of this man? I mean, that takes me for the general. He's grown a very landfish, languageous monster, plague of opinion. A man may wear it on both sides like a leather jerkin.
Thou must be my ambassador, Thersites.
Who, I? He'll answer nobody. He professes not answering. Speaking is for beggars. He wears his tongue in his arms. I will put on his presence. Let Patroclus make demands of me. You shall see the pageant of Ajax.
To him, Patroclus, tell him I humbly desire the valiant Ajax to invite the valorous Hector to come unarmed to my tent and to procure safe conduct for his person of the most magnanimous and most illustrious, 6 or 7 times honored Captain General of the army, Agamemnon. Do this.
Jove bless great Ajax.
Hum.
I come from the worthy Achilles,
Huh?
who most humbly desires you to invite Hector to his tent
Huh?
and to procure safe conduct from Agamemnon.
Agamemnon.
Aye, my lord.
Huh?
What say you to it?
Goodbye you with all my heart.
Your answer, sir.
If tomorrow be a fair day, be 11 o'clock, it will go one way or other. However, he shall pay for me, ask me.
Your answer, sir?
Fare you well with all my heart.
Why, but he is not in this tune, is he?
No, but out of tune thus. What music will be in him when Hector is knocked out his brains, I know not. But I am sure none, unless the fiddler Apollo get his sinews to make caplings on.
Thou shalt bear a letter to him straight.
Let me bear another to his horse, for that's his more capable creature.
My mind is troubled like a fountain stirred, and I myself see not the bottom of it.
With the fountain of your mind, we're clear again that I might water an ass at it. I'd rather be a tick and a sheep than such a valiant ignorance.
Enter at one door Aeneas, at another Paris, Phoebus, Antenor, Diomedes the Grecian with torches.
See ho, who is that there?
It is the Lord Aeneas. Is the prince there in person? Had I so good occasion to lie long as your Prince Paris, nothing but heavenly business should rob my bedmate of my company.
Sorry, I thought we were taking an intermission. What page are we on?
92, just at the very top of 92.
Okay, could someone take the next few lines for me, please?
That's my mind too. Good morrow, Lord Aeneas.
Valiant Greek, Aeneas, take his hand, witness the process of your speech wherein you told how Diomed a whole week by days did haunt you in the field?
Health to you, valiant sir. During all question of the gentle truce. But when I meet you armed as black defiance as heart can think or courage execute.
For one another Diomed embraces, our bloods are now in calm and so long health. Lulled when contention and occasion meet, by Jove I'll play the hunter for thy life with all my force, pursuit, and policy.
And thou shalt hunt a lion that will fly, with his face backward, in human gentleness. Welcome to Troy, now by Anchises' life, welcome indeed. By Venus' hand I swear, no man alive can love in such a sort the thing he means to kill more excellently.
We sympathize, Jove, let Aeneas live. If to my sword his fate be not the glory of 1,000 complete courses of the sun, but in mine emulous honor let him die, with every joint a wound, and that tomorrow.
We know each other well?
We do, and long to know each other worse.
This is the most despiteful, gentle greeting, the noblest, hateful love that e'er I heard of. What business, lord, so early?
I was sent for to the king, but why I know not.
His purpose meets you, 'twas to bring this Greek to Calchas' house, and there to render him for the enfreed Antenor the fair Cressida. Let's have your company, or if you please, haste there before us. I constantly believe, or rather call my thought a certain knowledge, my brother Troylus lodges there tonight. Rouse him and give him note of our approach, while the whole quality whereof I fear we shall be much unwelcome.
That I assure you. Troylus had rather Troy were born to Greece than Cressida born from Troy.
There is no help. The bitter disposition of the time will have it so. On, Lord, we'll follow you.
Good morrow well.
And tell me, noble Diomed, faith, tell me true, even in soul of sound good fellowship, who in your thoughts deserves fair Helen best, myself or Menelaus?
Both alike. He merits well to have her that doth seek her, not making any scruple of her soil with such a hell of pain and world of charge. And you as well to keep her that defend her, not palating the taste of her dishonor, with such a costly loss of wealth and friends. He, like a puling cuckold, would drink up the lees and dregs of a flat-tamed peace. You, like a lecher, out of whorish loins, are pleased to breed out your inheritors. Both merits poised, each weighs nor more, nor less, nor more, but he is he the heavier for a whore.
You are too bitter to your countrywoman.
She's bitter to her country. Hear me, Paris, for every false drop in her bawdy veins a Grecian's life hath sunk. For every scruple of her contaminated carrion weight, a Trojan hath been slain. Since she could speak, she hath not given so many good words breath as for her Greeks and Trojans suffered death.
Fair Diomed, you do as chapmen do, dispraise the thing that they desire to buy, but we in silence hold this virtue well. Will not commend what we intend to sell. Here lies our way.
Exeunt. Enter Troylus and Cressida.
Dear, trouble not yourself, the morn is cold.
Then, sweet my lord, I'll call mine uncle down. He shall unbolt the gates.
Trouble him not, to bed, to bed. Sleep kill those pretty eyes, and give so as soft attachment to thy senses as infants empty of all thought.
Good morrow, then.
I prithee now to bed.
Are you aweary of me?
Cressida, but that the busy day, waked by the lark, hath roused the ribald crows, and dreaming night will hide our joys no longer. I would not from thee.
Night hath been too brief.
Beshrew the witch, with venomous wights she stays as tediously as hell, but flies the grasps of love, with wings more momentary swift than thought. You will catch cold and curse me.
Prithee tarry. You men will never tarry. Oh, foolish Cressida. I might have still held of, and then you would have tarried. Hark, there's one up.
What's all the doors open here?
It is your uncle.
A pestilence on him. Now will he be mocking? I shall have such a life.
How now, how now? How go maidenheads? Here you go, maid. Where's my cousin Cressida?
Go hang yourself, you naughty monkey uncle. You bring me to do, and then you flout me too.
To do what? To do what? Let's hear her say what. What have I brought you to do?
Come, come, beshrew your heart. You'll ne'er be good, nor suffer.
Hast thou not slept tonight? Would he not, a naughty man, let it sleep, a bugbear take him?
Did not I tell you? Would he were knocked to the head. Who's that at the door? Good uncle, go and see. My lord, come you again into my chamber. You smile and mock me as if I meant naughtily. Come, you are deceived. I think of no such thing. How earnestly they knock. Pray you, come in.
Knock.
I would not for half Troy have you seen here.
Who's there? What's the matter? Will you beat down the door? How now? What's the matter?
Good morrow, Lord, good morrow.
Who's there, my lord Aeneas? By my troth, I knew you not. What news with you so early?
Is not Prince Troylus here?
Here? What should he do here?
Come, he is here, my lord. Do not deny him. It doth import him much to speak with me.
Is he here, say you? It's more than I know, I'll be sworn. For my own part, I came in late. What should he do here?
Who? Nathan. Come, come, you'll do him wrong ere you are ware. You'll be so true to him, to be false to him. Do not you know of him, but yet go fetch him hither? Go.
How now, what's the matter?
My lord, I scarce have leisure to salute you. My matter is so rash. There is a hand, Paris your brother, and Deiphobus, the Grecian Diomed, and our Antenor delivered to him, and forthwith, ere the first sacrifice within this hour, we must give up to Diomede's hand the lady Cressida.
Is it so concluded?
By Priam and the general state of Troy, they are at hand and ready to effect it.
How my achievements mock me. I will go meet them, and my lord Aeneas, we met by chance. You did not find me here.
Good, good, my lord. The secrets of neighbor Pandar have not more gift than taciturnity.
Exeunt.
Is it possible? No sooner got but lost. The devil take Athenor. The young prince will go mad. A plague on Athenor. I would they had broke his neck.
Enter Cressida.
How now? What's the matter? Who was here?
Oh.
Why sigh you so profoundly? Where's my lord? Gone? Tell me, sweet uncle, what's the matter?
Would I were as deep under the earth as I am above.
Oh, the gods, what's the matter?
Pray thee, get thee in. Would thou hadst ne'er been born, I knew thou wouldst be his death. Oh, poor gentleman, a plague upon that.
Good uncle, I beseech you on my knees, what's the matter?
Thou must be gone, much. Thou must be gone. Thou art changed for Athenor. Thou must to thy father and be gone from Troylus. 'Twill be his death, 'twill be his bane. He cannot bear it.
Oh, you immortal gods, I will not go.
Thou must.
I will not, uncle. I have forgot my father. I know no touch of consanguinity, no kin, no love, no blood, no soul so near me as the sweet Troylus. Oh, you gods divine, make Cressida's name the very crown of falsehood, if ever she leave Troylus. Time, force, and death, do to this body what extremes you can. But the strong base and building of my love is at the very center of the earth, drawing all things to it. I'll go in and weep.
Do.
Tear my bright hair and scratch my praised cheeks. Crack my clear voice with sobs and break my heart with sounding Troylus. I will not go from Troy.
Enter Paris, Troilus, Aeneas, Deiphobus, Antenor, Diomedes.
It is great morning, and the hour prefixed for her delivery to this valiant Greek comes fast upon. Good my brother Troilus, tell you the lady what she is to do, and haste her to the purpose. Walk into her house. I'll bring her to the Grecian presently, and to his hand, when I deliver her, think it an altar, and thy brother Troilus a priest, there offering to it his own heart. I know what 'tis to love, and would, as I shall pity, I could help. Please you, walk in, my lords.
Exeunt. Enter Pandarus and Cressida.
Be moderate, be moderate.
Why tell you me of moderation? The grief is fine, full, perfect that I taste, and violenteth in a sense as strong as that which causeth it. How can I moderate it? If I could temporize with my affections, or brew it to a weak and colder palate, the like allayment could I give my grief. My love admits no qualifying dross. No more my grief in such a precious loss.
Enter Troilus.
Here he comes, sweet ducks.
Oh, Troilus, Troilus!
With a pair of spectacles is here. Let me embrace too. Oh, hard as the goodly saying is, oh, heart, heavy heart, why soughest thou without breaking? Where he answers again, because thou canst not ease thy smart by friendship nor by speaking. There was never a truer rhyme. Let us cast away nothing, for we may live to have need of such a verse. We see it. How now, lambs?
Cressida, I love thee in so strained a purity that the blessed gods is angry with my fancy, more bright in zeal than the devotion which cold lips blow to their deities. Take thee from me.
Have the gods envy.
Aye. 'Tis too plain a case.
And is it true that I must go from Troy?
A hateful truth.
What? And from Troilus too?
From Troy and Troilus.
Is't possible?
And suddenly, where injury of chance puts back leave-taking, jostles roughly by, all time of pause, rudely beguiles our lips of all rejoinder, forcibly prevents our locked embrasures, strangles our dear vows, even in the birth of our own laboring breath. We two, that with so many thousand sighs did buy each other, must poorly sell ourselves. With the rude brevity and discharge of one, injurious time now with a robber's haste crams his rich thievery up, he knows not how. As many farewells as be stars in heaven, with distinct breath and consigned kisses to them, he fumbles up into a loose adieu, and scants us with a single famished kiss, distasted with the salt of broken tears.
My lord, is the lady ready?
Hark, you are called. Some say the genius cries so to him that instantly must die, but them have patience, bid them have patience, she shall come anon.
Where are my tears? Will my tears rain to lay this wind, or my heart will blow up by my throat?
I must then to the Grecians.
No remedy?
A woeful cressid amongst the merry Greeks. When shall we see again?
Hear me, love. Be thou but true of heart.
Aye, true. How now? What wicked deem is this?
Nay, we must use expostulation kindly, for it is parting from us. I speak not be thou true as fearing thee, for I will throw my glove to death himself, that there is no maculation in thy heart, but be thou true. Say I to fashion in my secret protestation, be thou true. and I will see thee.
Oh, you shall be exposed, my lord, to dangers, as infinite as imminent, but I'll be true.
And I'll grow friend with danger. Wear this sleeve.
And you this glove. When shall I see you?
I will corrupt the Grecian sentinels to give thee nightly visitation, but yet be true.
Oh, heavens, be true again.
Hear why I speak it, love. The Grecian youths are full of quality and swelling o'er with arts and exercise, how novelty may move and parts with portion. And alas, a kind of godly jealousy, which I beseech you call a virtuous sin, makes me afeard.
Oh, heavens, you love me not.
I a villain then, in this I do not call you your faith in question, so mainly as my merit. I cannot sing, nor heal the high lavolt, nor sweeten talk, nor play at subtle games, fair virtues all, to which the Grecians are most prompt and pregnant. But I can tell that in each grace of these there lurks a still and dumb discoursive devil that tempts most cunningly. But be not tempted.
Think I will.
No, but something may be done that we will not, and sometimes we are devils to ourselves when we will tempt the frailty of our powers, presuming on their changeful potency.
Nay, good, my lord?
Come kiss and let us part. Brother Troylus, good brother, come you hither and bring Aeneas and the Grecian with you.
My lord, will you be true?
Who, I? Alas, it is my vice, my fault. Whilst others fish with craft for great opinion, I with great truth catch mere simplicity. Whilst some with cunning gild their copper crowns, with truth and plainness I do wear mine bare. Fear not my truth. The moral of my wit is plain and true. There's all the reach of it. Welcome, Sir Diomed. Here is the lady, which for Antenor we deliver you. At the port, Lord, I'll give her to thy hand, and by the way, possess thee what she is, and treat her fair. And by my soul, fair Greek, if ere thou stand at mercy of my sword, name Cressida, and thy life shall be as safe as Priam is in Ilion.
Fair Lady Cressida, so please you save the thanks this prince expects. The luster in your eye, heaven in your cheek, please your fair usage. And to Diomed you shall be mistress, and command him wholly.
Grecian, thou dost not use me courteously to shame the seal of my petition to thee in praising her. I tell thee, Lord of Greece, she's as far high soaring o'er thy praises as thou unworthy to be called her servant. I charge thee use her well even for my charge. For by the dreadful Pluto, if thou dost not, though the great bulk Achilles be thy guard, I'll cut thy throat.
Oh, be not moved, Prince Troilus. Let me be privileged by my place, and message to be a speaker free. When I'm hence, I'll answer to my lust. And know you, Lord, I'll nothing do on charge. To her own worth she shall be prized. But that you say, be it so. I speak it in my spirit and honor, no.
Come to the port, I'll tell thee, Diomed, this brave shall oft make thee to hide thy head. Lady, give me your hand, and as we walk, to our own selves bend we our needful talk. Hark, Hector's trumpet!
How have we spent this morning? The prince must think me tardy and remiss that swore to ride before him to the field.
'Tis Troilus' fault. Come, to field with him.
Enter Ajax armed, Achilles, Patroclus, Agamemnon, Menelaus, Ulysses, Nestor, Calchas, and all.
Here art thou in appointment fresh and fair, anticipating time. With starting courage, give with thy trumpet a loud note to Troy, thou dreadful Ajax, that the applauded air may pierce the head of the great combatant and hail him hither.
Thou trumpet, there's my purse. Now crack thy lungs and split thy brazen pipe. Blow, villain, till thy sphered biased cheek out swell the colic of puff Aquilian. Come, stretch thy chest and let thy eyes spout blood. Thou blowest for Hector.
No trumpet answers.
'Tis but early days. Is not yonder Diomed with Calchas' daughter?
'Tis he. I ken the manner of his gait. He rises too. That spirit of his in aspiration lifts him from the earth.
Is this the Lady Cressida?
Even she.
Most dearly welcome to the Greeks, sweet lady.
Our general does salute you with a kiss.
Yet is the kindness but particular. 'Twere better she were kissed in general.
And very courtly counsel. I'll begin. So much for.
I'll take that winter from your lips, fair lady. Achilles bears you welcome.
I had a good argument for kissing once.
But that's no argument for kissing now, for thus popped Paris in his hardiment and parted thus you and your argument.
Oh, deadly gall and theme of all our scorns, for which we lose our heads to gild his horn.
The first was Menelaus' kiss, this mine. Patroclus kisses you.
Oh, this is trim.
Paris and I kiss evermore for him.
Oh, my kiss, sir. Lady, by your leave.
In kissing do you render or receive?
Both take and give.
I'll make my match to live. The kiss you take is better than you give, therefore no kiss.
I'll give you boot. I'll give you 3 for 1.
You are an odd man, give even or give none.
An odd man, lady. Every man is odd.
No Paris is nor, for you know 'tis true, that you are odd and he is even with you.
You filled me of the head.
No, I'll be sworn.
It were no match, your nail against his horn. May I, sweet lady, beg a kiss of you?
You may.
I do desire it.
Why beg then?
Why then, for Venus' sake, give me a kiss. When Helen is a maid again, and his...
I am your debtor. Claim it when 'tis due.
Never's my day, and then a kiss of you.
Lady, a word. I'll bring you to your father.
A woman of quick sense.
Fie upon her. There's language in her eye, her cheek, her lip, nay, her foot speaks. Her wanton spirits look out at every joint and motive of her body. Oh, these encounters so glib of tongue that give a coasting welcome ere it comes, and wide unclasp the tables of their thoughts to every ticklish reader, set them down for sluttish spoils of opportunity. And daughters of the game.
Flourish, enter all of Troy.
The Trojans
Trumpet.
Yonder comes the troop.
Hail all the state of Greece. What shall be done to him that victory commands? Or do you purpose the victor shall be known? Will you, the knights, shall to the edge of all extremity pursue each other? Or shall they be divided by any voice or order of the field? Hector, badass?
Which way would Hector have it?
He cares not. He'll obey conditions.
'Tis done like Hector, but securely done. A little proudly and great deal misprizing. The knight opposed.
If not Achilles, sir, what is your name?
And if not Achilles, nothing.
Therefore, Achilles. But what ere know this, in the extremity of great and little, valor and pride excel themselves in Hector, the one almost as infinite as all, the other blank as nothing. Weigh him well. And that which looks like pride is courtesy. This Ajax is half made of Hector's blood, and love whereof half Hector stays at home, half heart, half hand, half Hector comes to seek. This blended knight, half Trojan and half Greek.
A maiden battle then? Oh, I perceive you. Here is Sir Diomed. Go, gentle knight. Stand by our Ajax. As you and Lord Aeneas consent upon the order of their fight, so be it, either to the uttermost or else a breath, the combatants being kin, half stints their strife before their strokes begin. Ulysses, what Trojan is that same that looks so heavy?
the youngest son of Priam, a true knight, not yet mature, yet matchless firm of word, speaking deeds and deedless in his tongue, not soon provoked nor being provoked soon calmed, his heart and hand both open and both free. For what he has, he gives, what thinks he shows, yet gives he not till judgment guide his bounty, nor dignifies and impair thought with breath. Manly as Hector, but more dangerous. For Hector in his blaze of wrath subscribes to tender objects, but he in heat of action is more vindictive than jealous love. They call him Troylus, and on him erect a second hope as fairly built as Hector. Thus says Enos that one knows the youth, even to his inches, and with private soul did in great Ilion thus translate him to me.
Alarum.
They are in action.
Now, Ajax, hold thine own.
Hector, thou sleepest, awake thee.
His blows are well disposed. There, Ajax.
Trumpet cease.
You must know more.
Prince is enough, so please you.
I am not warmed yet. Let us fight again.
As Hector pleases.
Well then I know more. Thou art great lord, my father's sister's son, a cousin german to great Priam's seed. The obligation of our blood forbids a gory emulation twixt us twain. Were thy commixation Greek and Trojan so, that thou couldst say this hand is Grecian all, and this is Trojan's, the sinews of this leg all Greek, and this all Troy? My mother's blood runs on thy dexterous cheek, and this sinister bounds of my father's. By Jove multipotent, thou shouldst not bear from me a Greekish member. Wherein my sword had not in pressure made by this just God's gainsay, that any day thou barrest from my mother, my sacred aunt should by my mortal soul be drained. Let me embrace thee, Ajax. By him that thunders thou hast lusty arms. Hector would have them fall upon him thus. Cousin, all honor to thee.
I thank ye, Hector. Thou art too gentle and too free a man. I came to kill thee, cousin, and bear hence a great addition earned in thy death.
Not Neoptolemus, so mireable, on whose bright crest fame with her lowest, oh yes, cries, this is he, could promise to himself a thought of added honor torn from Hector.
There is expectance here from both the sides. What further you will do?
We'll answer it. The issue is embracement. Ajax, farewell.
If I might in entreaties find success, as seld I have the chance, I would desire my famous cousin to our Grecian tents.
'Tis Agamemnon's wish, and great Achilles doth long to see unarmed the valiant Hector.
Aeneas, call my brother Troilus to me, and signify this loving interview to the expectors of our Trojan part. Desire them home. Give me thy hand, my cousin. I will go eat with thee and see your knights.
Great Agamemnon comes to meet us here.
Oh, the worthiest of them. Tell me name by name. For Achilles, my own searching eyes shall find him by his large and portly size.
Worthy all arms, as welcome as to one that would be rid of such an enemy from heart of very heart. Great Hector, welcome.
I thank thee, most imperious Agamemnon.
My well-famed lord of Troy, no less do you.
Let me confirm my princely brother's greeting. You brace of warlike brothers, welcome hither.
Whom must we answer?
The noble Menelaus.
Oh, you, my lord, by Mars, his gauntless thanks, mock not thy effect, the entreated earth. Your quondam wife swears till still by Venus' glove she's well, but bade me not commend her to you.
Name her not now, sir. She's a deadly fiend.
Oh, pardon, I offend.
I have thou gallant Trojans seen thee aloft, laboring for destiny, make cool way through ranks of Greekish youth. And I have seen thee as hot as Perseus, spur thy Phrygian steed, despising many forfeits and subduements. When thou hast hung the advanced sword of the air, not letting it decline on the decline. That I have said to some, my standers by, lo, Jupiter is yonder dealing life. And I have seen thee pause and take thy breath, when that a ring of Greeks have swept thee in, like an Olympian wrestling. This I have seen, but this, thy countenance still locked in steel, I never saw till now. I knew thy grandsire, and once fought with him. He was a soldier, good. But by great Mars, the captain of us all, never like thee. Oh, let an old man embrace thee, and worthy warrior, welcome to our tents. 'Tis the old Nestor.
Oh, let me embrace thee, good old chronicle. Thou hast so long walked hand in hand with time, most reverend Nestor. I am glad to clasp thee.
Would my arms could match thee in contention.
I would they could.
Ah, by this white beard, I'd fight with thee tomorrow. Well, welcome, welcome. I have seen the time.
I wonder now how yonder city stands when we have here her base and pillar by us.
I know your favor, Lord Ulysses, well. Ah, sir, there's many a Greek and Trojan dead since first I saw yourself and Diomede in Ilion and your Greekish embassy.
Sir, I foretold you then what would ensue. My prophecy is but half his journey yet. For yonder walls that pertly front your town, yon towers whose wanted tops do bust the clouds, must kiss their own feet.
I must not believe you. There they stand yet, and modestly, I think. The fall of every Phrygian stone will cost a drop of Grecian blood. The end crowns all, and that old common arbitrator, time, will one day end it.
So to him we leave it. Most gentle and most valiant Hector, welcome. After the general, I beseech you next to feast with me and see me at my tent.
I shall forestall thee, Lord Ulysses, thou. Now, Hector, I have fed mine eyes on thee. I have with exact view perused thee, Hector, and quoted joint by joint.
Is this Achilles?
I am Achilles.
No. Stand fair, I pray thee. Let me look on thee.
Behold thy fill.
Nay, I have done already.
Thou art too brief. I will the second time, as I would by thee, view thee limb by limb.
Oh, like a book of sport thou readest me over, huh? But there's more in me than thou understandest. Why dost thou so oppress me with thine eye?
Tell me, you heavens, in which part of his body shall I destroy him, whether there or there or there, that I may give a local wound a name, and make distinct the very breach whereout Hector's great spirit flew. Answer me, heavens.
It would discredit the blessed gods, proud man, to answer such a question. Stand again. Thinkest thou to catch my life so pleasantly as to predominate in nice conjecture, where thou wilt hit me dead?
I tell thee, yea.
Wert thou an oracle to tell me so, I'd not believe thee. Henceforth guard thee well, for I'll not kill thee there, nor there, nor there, but by the forge that stitched Mars' helm, I'll kill thee everywhere. Yeah, over and over, you wisest Grecians. Over and over, you wisest Grecians, pardon me this brag. His insolence draws folly from my lips, but I'll endeavor deeds to match these words, so may I never.
Do not chafe thee, cousin. And you, Achilles, let these threats alone till accident or purpose bring you to it. You may have every day enough of Hector if you have stomach. The general state, I fear, can scarce entreat you to be odd with him.
I pray you, let us see you in the field. We have had pelting wars since you refused the Grecians' cause.
Doest thou entreat me, Hector? Tomorrow do I meet thee fell as death. Tonight, all friends.
Thy hand upon thy match. That
First,
match.
all of you peers of Greece, go to my tent. There in full convive we. Afterwards, as Hector's leisure and your bounties shall concur together, severally entreat him to taste your bounties. Let the trumpets blow, that this great soldier may his welcome know.
Exeunt. Except for Troilus and
Troilus.
Ulysses. Sorry.
Sorry. 1 second. My lord Ulysses, tell me, I beseech you, in what place of the field doth Calchas keep?
At Menelaus' tent, most princely Troilus. There Diomed doth feast with him tonight, who neither looks upon the earth, upon the heaven, nor earth, but gives all gaze, and bent of amorous view on the fair Cressida.
Shall I, sweet lord, be bound to you so much after we from Agamemnon's tent to bring me thither?
You shall command me, sir. But, gentle, tell me of what honor was this Cressida in Troy? Hath she no lover there that wails her absence?
O sir, to such as boasting shows their scars, a mock is due. Will you walk on, my lord? She was beloved, my lord, she is and doth, but still sweet love is food for fortune's tooth.
Exeunt. Enter Achilles and Patroclus.
I'll feed his blood with Greekish wine tonight, which with my scimitar I'll cool tomorrow. Patroclus, let us feast him to the night.
Here comes Thersites.
Enter Thersites.
How now, thou cur of envy, thou crusty batch of nature, what's the news?
Why, thou picture of what seemest an idol of idiot worshippers. Here's a letter for thee.
From whence, fragment?
Why, thou full deuce of fool, from Troy.
Who keeps the tent now?
The surgeon's box or the patient's wound?
Well said, adversity, and what needs this tricks?
I'll tell you in a second, but I just screwed up my computer. Hold on, Charlie. For give me a second, that'll just happened. I'm right there. This stupid thing just popped up on my thing. I don't know why it's doing this. Just 1 second, I'll be right there and I'll give you an answer. If it'll only let me. Darling. Oh, this is ridiculous. I can't. Oh, man. I don't understand why it won't just let me out. Let me out. Let me out. Cancel. Okay, I'm back. So what did you ask me?
Well said, adversity, and what needs this tricks?
Oh, tricks. Prithee, be silent, box. I profit not by thy talk. Thou said to be Achilles' male varlet.
Male varlet. You rogue, what's that?
Why, his masculine whore. Now the rotten diseases of the South, the gut-gripping ruptures, loads of gravel in the back, lethargies, cold palsies, raw ears, dirty livers, whistling lungs, bladders full of impostume sciaticas, line kills at the palm, incurable bone ache, and the rival fees, simple of the tenor, take and take again, such preposterous discoveries.
Why, thou damnable box of envy, thou, what means thou to curse thus?
Do I curse thee?
Why, no, you ruinous butt, you hoarse, indistinguishable cur, no.
Oh, why art thou so exasperate, thy idle, immaterial skein of sleeve silk? Thou green sackenet flap for a sore eye, thou tossel of prodigals, purse thou, and how the poor world is pestered with such water flies, diminutives of nature.
Out, gall.
Finch egg.
My sweet Patroclus, I am thwarted quite from my great purpose into tomorrow's battle. Here is a letter from Queen Hecuba, a token from her daughter, my fair love, both taxing me, engaging me to keep an oath that I have sworn. I will not break it. Fall Greeks, fail fame, honor, or go or stay, my major vow lies here. This I'll obey. Come, Thersites, help to trim my tent. This night and banqueting must all be spent. Away, Patroclus.
With too much blood and too little brain, these two may run mad. But with too much brain and too little blood, they do, I'll be a cure of madmen. Here's Agamemnon, an honest fellow enough, and one that loves quails. But he has not so much brain as airwax. And the goodly transformation of Jupiter there, his be the bull, the primitive statue, and oblique memorial of cuckolds, the thrifty shoeing horn and a chain in his bare leg, to what form but that he is, should wit larded with malice, and malice faith with wit turn him to an ass were nothing, he is both ass and ox. To an ox were nothing, is both ox and ass. To be a day, a moil, a cat, a fitshook, a toad, a lizard, an owl, a puddock, or a herring without a roe, I would not care. But to be Menelaus, I would conspire against destiny. Ask me what I would be if I were not Thersites, for I care not to be the louse of a Lazarus, so I were not Menelaus. Hey days, sprites and fires.
Enter Agamemnon, Ulysses, Nestor, and Diomedes with lights.
We go wrong.
Oh,
No, yonder 'tis there where we see the lights.
I trouble you.
No, not a whit.
Here comes himself to guide you.
Welcome, brave Hector, welcome, princes all. So now, fair prince of Troy, I bid good night. Ajax commands the guard to tend on you.
Thanks, and good nights to the Greeks, General.
Good night, my lord.
Good night, sweet Lord Menelaus. Sweet draught, such sweet quoth, sweet sing, sweet shore.
Good night, and welcome both to those that go or tarry. Good night. Old Nestor tarries, and you too, Diomed. Keep Hector company an hour or two.
I cannot, Lord, I have important business, the tide whereof is now. Good night, great Hector.
Give me your hand.
Follow his torch. He goes to Calchas' tent. I'll keep you company.
Sweet sir, you honor me.
And so good night.
Come, enter my tent.
Exeunt.
That same Diomedes, a false-hearted rogue, a most unjust knave. Oh, no more trust him when he lares than I will a serpent when he hisses. He will spend his mouth and promise like a babbler the hound, but when he performs, astronomers foretell it is prodigious. There will come some change. The sun borrows of the moon when Diomed keeps his word. Oh, rather leave to see Hector than not to dog him. They say he keeps a Trojan drab and uses the traitor Calchas' tent. All after. Nothing but lechery, all incontinent varlets.
Enter Diomedes.
What are you up here, ho? Speak.
Who calls?
Diomed, Calchas, I think. Where's your daughter?
She comes to you.
Stand where the torch may not discover us.
Cressida comes forth to him.
Enter Cressida.
How now, my charge?
Now, my sweet guardian, hark, a word with you.
Yea, so familiar.
She will sing any man at first sight.
And any man may sing her. If you can take her cliff, she's noted.
You remember? Will you remember?
Remember, yes.
Nay, but do then, and let your mind be coupled with your words.
What shall she remember?
List?
Sweet honey Greek, tempt me no more to folly.
Oh, roguery.
Nay, then.
I'll tell you what.
Foe, come, tell a pin, you are forsworn.
In faith I cannot. What would you have me do?
A juggling trick to be secretly open.
What did you swear you would bestow on me?
I prithee, do not hold me to mine oath. Bid me do anything but that, sweet Greek.
Good night.
Old patience.
Now, Troy.
Diomed,
No, good night, I'll be your fool no more.
I better must.
hark, a word in your ear.
Plague and madness.
You're unmoved, Prince. Let us depart, I pray, lest your displeasure should enlarge itself to wrathful terms. This place is dangerous. The time is right deadly. I beseech you, gone.
Behold, I pray you.
Now, good my lord, go off. You flow to great distraction. Come, my lord.
I prithee, stay.
You have not patience. Come.
I pray you stay. By hell, in all hell's torments, I will not speak a word.
And so good night.
Nay, but you part in anger.
Does that grieve thee, O withered truth?
How now, my lord?
By Jove, I will be patient.
Guardian, why, Greek?
Foe, you palter.
In faith I do not. Come hither once again.
You shake, my lord, at something. Will you go? You will break out.
He strokes his cheek.
Come.
Nay, stay, by Jove, I will not speak a word. There is between my will and all offenses a guard of patience. Stay a little while.
How the devil luxury with his fat rump and potato finger tickles together. Fry, lechery, fry.
Will you then?
In faith I will, lo. Never trust me else.
Give me some token for the surety of it.
I'll fetch you one.
You have sworn patience.
Fear me not, my lord, I will not be myself, nor have cognition of what I feel. I am all patience.
Enter
Now,
Cressida.
now the pledge. Now.
Here, Diomed, keep this sleeve.
O beauty, where is thy faith?
My lord.
You look upon that sleeve, behold it well. He loved me, O false wench, give it me again.
Whose was't?
It is no matter now. I had again. I will not meet with you tomorrow night. I prithee, Diomed, visit me no more.
Oh, now she sharpens. Well said, Whetstone.
I shall have it.
What, this?
Aye, that.
Oh, you gods, oh, pretty pledge. Thy master now lies thinking on his bed of thee and me, and sighs, and takes my glove, and gives memorial dainty kisses to it, as I kiss thee.
Nay, do not snatch it from me.
He that takes that doth take my heart withal.
I had your heart before, this follows it.
Did swear patience. You shall not have it, Diomed. Faith, you shall not. I'll give you something else.
I will have this. Whose was it?
It is no matter.
Come, tell me whose it was.
'Twas ones that loved me better than you will. But now you have it. Take it.
Whose was it?
And by all Diana's waiting woman yond, and by herself, I will not tell you whose.
Tomorrow will I wear it on my helm and grieve his spirit that dares not challenge it.
Wert thou the devil and worst it on thy horn, it should be challenged.
Well, 'tis done. 'Tis past. And yet it is not. I will not keep my word.
Why then, farewell, thou never shalt mock Diomed again.
You shall not go. One cannot speak a word, but it straight starts you.
I do not like this fooling.
Nor I, by Pluto, but that likes not you pleases me best.
What shall I come the hour?
I come. O Jove, do come. I shall be plagued.
Farewell till then.
Good night. I prithee come. Troylus, farewell. One eye yet looks on thee, but with my heart the other eye doth see. Ah, poor our sex! This fault in us I find. The error of our eye directs our mind. What error leads must err. Oh, then conclude. Minds swayed by eyes are full of turpitude.
The proof of strength she could not publish more, unless she said my mind is now turned whore.
All's done, my lord.
It is.
Why stay we then?
To make a recordation to my soul of every syllable that here was spoke. That if I tell how these two did court, shall I not lie in publishing a truth, sith yet there is a credence in my heart, an esperance so obstinately strong that doth invent the attest of eyes and ears, as if those organs were deception's functions created only to calumniate. Was Cressida here?
I cannot conjure, Troyan.
She was not, sure.
Oh, sure she was.
Why, my negation hath no taste of madness.
Nor mine, my lord. Cressida was here, but now.
Let it not be believed for womanhood. Think we had mothers? Do not give advantage to stubborn critics. Critiques apt without a theme for deprivation. To square the general sex by Cressida's rule, rather think this not Cressida.
What hath she done, prince, that can spoil our mothers?
Nothing at all, unless that this were she.
Will the swagger himself out on his own eyes?
This she, no, this is Diomed's Cressida. If beauty hath a soul, this is not she. If souls guide vows, if vows be sanctimonies, if sanctimony be the god's delight, if there be rule in unity itself, this was not she. O madness of discourse that cause sets up with and against itself by fouled authority, where reason can revolt without perdition and loss assume all reason without revolt. This is and is not Cressida. Within my soul there doth conduce a fight of this strange nature, that a thing inseparate divides more wider than the sky and earth, and yet the spacious breadth of this division admits no orifice for a point as subtle as Ariadne's broken woof to enter. Instance, oh instance strong as Pluto's gates, Cressida is mine, tied with the bonds of heaven. Instance, oh instance strong as heaven itself, the bonds of heaven are slipped, dissolved and loosed, and with another knot fine finger tied, the fractions of her faith, orts of her love, the fragments, scraps, the bits and greasy relics of her o'er-eaten faith are given to Diomed.
May worthy Troylus be half attached with that which here his passion doth express.
I Greek and that shall be divulged well in characters as red as Mars, his heart inflamed with Venus. Never did young man fancy with so eternal and so fixed a soul. Hark, Greek, as much as I do Cressida love, so much by weight hate I her Diomed. That sleeve is mine, that heel bear on his helm. Were it a cast composed by Vulcan's skill, my sword should bite it, not the dreadful spout which shipmen do the hurricano call. Constringed in mass by the almighty sun, shall dizzy with more clamor Neptune's ear in his descent than shall my prompted sword falling on Diomed.
He'll tickle it for his concubine.
Cressid. False, Cressid, false, false, false. Let all untrue stand by thy stained name, and they'll seem glorious.
Oh, contain yourself. Your passion draws ears hither.
Enter Aeneas.
Thinking it is hour, my lord. Hector by this is arming him in Troy. Ajax, your guard, stays to conduct you home.
Have with you, prince, my courteous lord adieu. Farewell, revolted fair, and Diomed, stand fast and wear a castle on thy head.
I'll bring you to the gates.
Accepted, distracted thanks.
When I could meet that rogue Diomed, I would croak like a raven. I would bold. Troylus will give me anything for the intelligence of this whore. The parrot will not do more for an almond than he for a commodious drab. Lechery, still wars and lechery. Nothing else holds fashion. A burning devil, take 'em all.
Exit. Enter Hector and Andromache.
When was my lord so much ungently tempered to stop his ears against admonishment? Unarm, and do not fight today.
You train me to offend you, get you in by all that everlasting gods, I'll go.
My dreams will sure prove ominous to the day.
No more, I say.
Enter Cassandra.
Where is my brother Hector? Here, sister, armed and bloody in intent. Consort with me a loud and dear petition, pursuing him on knees. For I have dreamt of bloody turbulence, and this whole night hath nothing been but shapes and forms of slaughter. Oh, 'tis true.
Ho! Bid my trumpet sound.
No, to sally for the heavens, sweet brother.
Begone, I say, the gods have heard me swear.
The gods are deaf to hot and peevish vows. They are polluted offerings more abhorred than spotted livers in the sacrifice. Oh, be persuaded, do not count it holy. It is the purpose that makes strong the vow, but vows to every purpose must not hold. Unarmed, sweet Hector.
Hold you still, I say. My honor keeps the weather of my fate. Life every man holds dear, but the dear man holds honor fair, more precious dear than life.
Enter Troylus.
I know, young man. You decide to fight today.
Cassandra, call my father to persuade.
Exit Cassandra.
No faith. Young Troylus doth I harness youth. I am today in the vein of chivalry. Let grow thy sinews till their knots be strong, and tempt not yet the brushes of the war. Unarm thee, go, and doubt thou not, pray boy. I'll stand today for thee, and me, and Troy.
Brother, you have a vice of mercy in you which better fits a lion than a man.
What vice is that? Good Troilus tried me for it.
When many times the captive Grecian falls, even in the fane and wind of your fair sword, you bid them rise and live.
Huh. 'Tis fair play.
Fool's play, by heaven, Hector.
I know.
For the love of all the gods, let's leave the hermit pity with our mother. And when we have our armors buckled on, the venom vengeance ride upon our swords, spur them to ruthful work, rein them from ruth.
Fie, savage, fie.
Hector, then, 'tis wars.
Troilus, I would not have you fight today.
Who should withhold me? Not fate, obedience nor the hands of Mars, beckoning with fiery truncheon my retire, nor Priamus and Hecuba on knees, their eyes o'er-galled with recourse of tears, nor you, my brother, with your true sword drawn, opposed to hinder me, should stop my way.
Enter Priam and Cassandra.
Upon him, Priam, hold him fast, he is thy crutch. If thou lose thy stay, thou on him leaning, and I'll try on thee fall altogether.
Come, Hector, come, go back. Thy wife hath dreamt, thy mother hath had visions, Cassandra doth foresee, and I myself am like a prophet, suddenly enwrapped, to tell thee this day is ominous, therefore come back.
Aeneas is afield, and I do stand engaged to many Greeks, even in the faith of valor to appear this morning to them.
Aye, but thou shalt not go.
I must not break my faith. You know me dutiful. Therefore, dear sir, let me not shame respect, but give me leave to take that course by your consent and voice, which you do here forbid me, royal Priam.
Priam, yield not to him. Do not, dear father.
Andromache, I may offend with you. Upon the love you bear me, get you in.
Exit Andromache.
This foolish, dreaming, superstitious girl makes all these bodements.
Oh, farewell, dear Hector. Look, thou diest. Look how thy eye turns pale. Look how the wolves do bleed at many rents. Hark how Troy roars, how Hecuba cries out, how poor Andromache shrills her daughter's forth. Behold, destruction, frenzy, and amazement, like with antiques one another meet, and I'll cry, Hector, Hector's dead. Oh, Hector.
Away, away.
Farewell, yet soft. Hector, I take my leave. Thou dost thyself and all our Troy deceive.
You are amazed, my liege, at her exclaimed. Go in and cheer the town. We'll forth and fight. Do deeds worth praise, and tell you them at night.
Farewell, the gods with safety stand about thee.
They are at it. Hark, proud Diomed, believe I come to lose my arm or win my sleeve.
Enter Pander.
Do you hear, my lord? Do you hear?
What now?
Here's a letter come from yond poor girl.
Let me read.
A whoreson trick, a whoreson rascally trick, so troubles me in the foolish fortune of this girl. And what thing, what another, that I shall leave you one us days, and I have a rheum in my eyes too, and such an ache in my bones, that unless the man were cursed, I cannot tell what to think on it. What says she there?
Words, words, mere words, no matter from the heart, the effect doth operate another way. Go win to win, their turn and change together. My love with words and errors still she feeds, but edifies another with her deeds.
Exeunt. Enter Thersites.
Now they
Excursions.
are clapper-clawing one another. I'll go look on. That dissembling, abominable varlet Diomed has got that scurvy, doting, foolish knave sleeve of Troy there at his helm. I would fain see them meet, that same young Trojan ass that loves the whore there might send that Greekish whore-masterly villain within the sleeve back to the dissembling, luxurious drab of a sleeveless Arab. To the other side, the policy of these crafty swearing rascals, that stale old mouse-eaten dry cheese Nestor, and that same dogged fox Ulysses is now proved worth a blackberry. They set me up in policy, that mongrel, that mongrel cur Ajax against that dog of, they set me up in policy, that mongrel cur Ajax against that dog of his badakind Achilles. And now is the cur Ajax prouder than the cur Achilles, and went all armed today. Whereupon the Grecians began to proclaim barbarism, and policy grows into all ill opinion. Oh, soft, here comes sleeve and the other.
Fly not, for shouldst thou take the river Styx, I would swim after.
Thou dost miscall, retire. I do not fly, but advantageous care withdrew me from the odds of multitude. Haveth he?
Hold thy whore, Grecian. Now for thy whore, Trojan. Now the sleeve, now the sleeve.
Enter Hector.
What a Greek! Art thou for Hector's match? Art thou of blood and honor? No, no, I am a rascal, a scurving, railing knave, a very filthy rogue. I do believe thee. Live. God have mercy that thou wilt believe me, but the plague break thy neck for frightening me. What's become of the wenching rogues? I think that they have swallowed one another. I would laugh at that miracle. Yet in a sort, lechery eats itself. I'll seek them.
Exit. Enter Diomed and servant.
Go, go. My servant, take thou Troylus' horse. Present the fair steed to my lady Cressida. Fellow, commend my service to her beauty. Tell her I have chastised the amorous Troyan, and am her knight by proof.
Enter Agamemnon.
I go, my lord.
Renew, the fierce Polydamas hath beaten down Menon. Bastard Margarelian hath Dorius prisoner, and stands Colossus wise, waving his beam upon the passionate courses of the kings. Astriphilus and Cetus, Polixenes is slain, Amphimachus and Thaus deadly hurt, Patroclus ta'en or slain, and Palamedes sore hurt and bruised. The dreadful Sagittary appalls our numbers. Haste we, Diomed, to reinforcement, or we perish all.
Enter Nestor.
Go, bear Patroclus' body to Achilles, and bid the snail-packed Ajax arm for shame. There's 1,000 Hectors in the field. Now here he fights on Galathea's horse, and there lacks work. Anon, he's there afoot, and there they fly or die like scaling skulls before the belching whale. Then is he yonder, and there the scrawny Greeks fight for his edge, fall down before him like the mower's swath, here, there, and everywhere. He leads and takes, dexterity so obeying appetite. So what he does, and does so much, that proof is called impossibility.
Enter Ulysses.
Oh, courage. Courage, princes. Great Achilles is arming, weeping, cursing, vowing vengeance. Patroclus' wounds have roused his drowsy blood together with his mangled myrmidons, that noseless, handless, hacked and chipped, come to him. Crying on Hector, Ajax hath lost a friend, and foams at mouth, and he is armed and at it, roaring for Troylus, who hath done today mad and fantastic execution, engaging and redeeming of himself with such careless force and forceless care, as if that lust in very spite of cunning bade him win all.
Enter Ajax. Troylus.
Troylus, thy coward Troylus.
Exit.
Aye, there.
So, we draw together.
Exit. Enter Achilles.
Where is this Hector? Come, thou boy queller, show thy face, know what it is to meet Achilles angry. Hector, where's Hector? I will none but Hector.
Exit. Enter Ajax.
Troylus, thy coward Troylus, show thy head.
Enter Diomedes.
Troylus, I say, where's Troylus?
What wouldst thou?
I would correct him.
Were I the general, thou shouldst have my office here, that correction. Troylus, I say, what Troylus?
Enter Troylus.
O traitor Diomed, turn thy False face, thou traitor, and pay thy life thou owest me for my horse.
Ah, art thou there?
I'll fight with him alone. Stand, Diomedes.
He is my prize, I will not look upon.
Come, both you cogging Greeks, have at you both.
Yeah, Troylus. Oh, well fought, my youngest brother.
Enter Achilles.
Now I do see thee. Ha! Have at thee, Hector.
Pause if thou wilt.
I do disdain thy courtesy, proud Troyan. Be happy that my arms are out of use. My rest and negligence befriends thee now, but thou anon shalt hear of me again, to when thou go seek thy fortune.
Exit.
Fare thee well. I would have been much more fresh a man had I expected thee. How now, my brother?
Enter Troylus.
Ajax hath ta'en Aeneas. Shall it be? No, by the flame of yonder glorious heaven, he shall not carry him. I'll be ta'en too, or bring him off. Fate, hear me what I say. I reek not, though I end my life today.
Enter one in armor.
Stand, stand thou, Greek. Thou art a goodly mark, no? Wilt thou not? I like thy armor well. I'll fresh it and unlock the rivets all, but I'll be master of it, wilt thou not, beast, abide? Why then fly on, I'll hunt thee for thy hide.
Enter Achilles with Myrmidons.
Come here about me, you, my Myrmidons. Mark what I say. Attend me where I wheel. Strike not a stroke, but keep yourselves in breath. And when I have the bloody Hector found, impale him with your weapons round about. In fellest manner execute your arms. Follow me, sirs, and my proceedings. Aye, it is decreed, Hector the Great must die.
Exit. Enter Thersites, Menelaus, Paris.
Oh, the cuckold and the cuckold maker are at it. Now bull, now dog, yo, Paris, lo. Now my double hen Spartan, lo, Paris, lo, the bull has the game, more hearts, oh.
Exit Paris and Menelaus. Enter Bastard. Turn, slave, and fight.
What art thou?
A bastard son of Priam's.
Well, I am a bastard too. I love bastards. I am a bastard begot, bastard instructed, bastard in mind, bastard in valor, in everything legitimate. One bear will not bite another, and wherefore should one bastard? Take heed, the quarrel's most ominous to us. If the son of a whore fight for a whore, he tends judgment. Farewell, bastard.
The devil take thee, coward. Exit. Enter Hector.
Most, I'll give you a second. Shoot. Most purified. I'm coming. I'm doing it right now. Just trying to get the stupid thing to. Yeah, most putrefied core so fair, without thy goodly armor thus has cost thy life. Now is my day's work done. I'll take my breath. Rest sore, thou hast thy fill of blood and death.
Enter Achilles and Myrmidons.
Look, Hector, how the sun begins to set, how ugly night comes breathing at his heels, even with the veil and darkening of the sun to close the day up. Hector's life is done.
I am unarmed. Forgo this vantage, Greek.
Strike, fellows, strike. This is the man I seek. So Ilion, fall thou next. Come, Troy, sink down. Here lies thy heart, thy sinews, and thy bone on Myrmidons, and cry you all amain. Achilles hath the mighty Hector slain. Hark, a retire upon our Cretan prat.
The Trojan's trumpet sound like my lord.
The dragon wing of night o'erspreads the earth, and stickler likes the armies separates. My half-supped sword that frankly would have fed, pleased with this dainty bait, thus goes to bed. Come tie his body to my horse's tail, along the field I will the Trojan trail.
Exeunt. Enter Agamemnon, Ajax, Menelaus, Nestor, Diomedes, and the rest marching.
Hark, hark, what is this?
Peace drums.
Achilles, Achilles, Hector slain, Achilles.
The brute is Hector slain, and by Achilles.
If it be so, yet bragless let it be. Great Hector was as good a man as he.
March patiently along, let one be sent to pray Achilles see us at our tent. If in his death the gods have us befriended, great Troy is ours, and our sharp wars are ended.
Exeunt. Enter Aeneas, Paris, Antenor, Phoebus.
Stand up. Yet are we masters of the field.
Enter Troylus.
Never go home. Here starve we out the night. Hector is slain.
Hector,
Hector,
the gods forbid.
He's dead, and at the murderer's horse's tail, in beastly sort dragged through the shameful field. Frown on, you heavens, effect your rage with speed, sit gods upon your thrones, and smile at Troy. I say at once, let your brief plagues be mercy, and linger not our sure destructions on.
My lord, you did discomfort all the host.
You understand me not that tell me so. I do not speak of flight, of fear of death, but dare all imminence that gods and men address their dangers in. Hector is gone. Who shall tell Priam so, or Hecuba? Let him that will a screech owl I be called, go into Troy and say, there Hector's dead. There is a word. Will Priam turn to stone? Make wells and Niobes of the maids and wives, and cold statues of the youth, and in a word, scare Troy out of itself. There is no more to say. Stay yet, you proud abominable tents, thus proudly pitched upon our Phrygian plains. Let Titan rise as early as he dare. I'll through and through you, and though great-sized coward, no space of earth shall sunder our two hates. I'll haunt thee like a wicked conscience still, that moldeth goblins swift as frenzy's thoughts. Strike a free march to Troy with comfort go. Hope of revenge shall hide our inward woe.
Enter Pandarus.
But here you!
Hence, broker, lackey, ignominy, shame, pursue thy life and live, I, with thy name.
Exeunt all but Pandarus.
A goodly medicine for my aching bones. Oh, world, world. Thus is the poor agent despised. Oh, traitors and bawds, how earnestly are you set a work, and how ill requited. Why should our endeavor be so loved, and the performance so loathed? What verse for it? What instant for it? Let me see. Full merrily the humble bee doth sing, till he hath lost his honey and his sting. And being once subdued in armed tale, sweet honey and sweet notes together fail. Good traders in the flesh, set this in your painted clothes. As many as be here of Pandar's hall, your eyes have outweep out at Pandar's fall. Or if you cannot weep yet, give some groans, though not for me, yet for my aching bones. Brethren and sisters of the Holdor trade, some 2 months hence my will shall here be made. It should be now, but that my fear is this, some galled goose of Winchester would hiss. Till then I'll sweat and seek about for eases, and at that time bequeath you my diseases.
Well done. Thank you all very much. Just a little after 11 o'clock, but we got through it all. Excellent job. Thank you so much, Rebecca and Clinton, for taking on these two very talkative title characters on such short notice. So thank you, and thanks to Jennifer for putting it all together.
Thank you.
and Kevin and Mark and everyone. Really good job, everyone. Thank you. Does anybody have any sort of comments on the
Yes,
reading?
I'm convinced that even though they say the events took place about 8,000 years ago, no, I believe it was about 3,000 to 4,000 years ago. It was in the age of Aries because it was a warrior time. And I just looked up the different ages, and the Trojan Wars actually happened between 4,000 and 2000, or I'm sorry, the age of Aries between 2000 and 0 BC. All those stuff. See, it was before Caesar, but it was definitely the Trojan Wars were in the age of Aries. They weren't in the age of Taurus, so it had to be that period.
Okay. Any on the play? I mean, I thank you all for doing it. I mean, one of the things, it's interesting. I mean, you have the prologue that this was sort of, it was published before it was performed, but then after it was performed, it was in the folio. And one of the places where they do have a record of performance was at the Inns of Court, where they would sort of these inns for lawyers. And you can just sort of see, I mean, there are just so many great sort of examples of rhetorical discussions and
Yeah.
things, especially
That starts, yeah.
So
That starts making me think that it could have been actually 6,000 years ago, because that was the age of Gemini. Or whatever.
well,
There
well,
are
I'm
ages. I
not-
mean,
I'm
we're in
not
the
a
Aquarian. We
historian.
are in a new age now.
Goes
Seems like the old age. That's one of the things. I mean, it's like, I mean, when you think about not only what's going on in England, but what's going on in Iran, where it's like you are actually having a revolution over what's happened to a woman and how a woman is treated, and how the women, both like as Helen and Cressida in this, are just sort of used as objects. It's
Yeah, and in all this time, we've made very little progress. It just
Yeah.
comes out differently. We just play it differently. But the scenes keep coming out the same. I mean, to me, what Helen represents today would be real estate and commodities, because in those days, whoever had this most beautiful woman had incredible value, along with armor. Obviously, she meant more to them than just lust. She meant value for some reason. I can't quite figure that out, but she had to have mean more to them than just prestige. You know, whoever had Helen, it's weird. And like the women were so mistreated. I mean, God, it's hard. It's a tragic play because the women are all they're objectified. I mean, poor Cressida, it's not really her fault what she gets herself into. It's, she's objectified.
right. Well, let's
We did Taming of the Shrew this past Sunday. Talk about subjugation of women. Okay, nighty night.
Night night.
All right.
Night all. Thank you.